celebrate as the lives of Muslims in that area of the world. I want to point out to you that the ban on headscarves also affects Hindu girls. The wearing of a headscarf is a common practice of Hindu girls as well. Muslim girls are not.
It is a course.
Exactly. No, I'm just exploring the things like a small
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he works. He's got work on Sundays. Yeah. Well, he's got to pay for his self stuff.
Yeah. There's always bills to deal with. So.
Yeah.
So you're looking after yourself?
Yeah. So I think
I haven't been here for a long time.
So I think you choose the worst day to come in.
No, it's quite interesting. I went to Woolwich.
Yeah.
To different assignment. I thought on my way going home.
All right.
I thought, let me. The moment I came out, I thought, oh boy, rain because I was under.
Yeah.
When I was coming, it wasn't raining.
Oh.
So when I came out and I thought, oh, I'm here, so let me spend a few minutes and just and now you see.
Yeah, but Woolwich is a long way. So.
Oh yeah, no, because I just went out to a sister branch of this morning.
Okay. Right. But you'd have to. What did you get the underground from Greenwich or something? Sorry, yeah.
No, I got the main line from Woolwich to London Bridge.
Yeah.
Underground.
Yeah.
So I felt like, oh, I haven't been here for a while, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, it's Penny's fault.
Yeah.
But because of the love of Christ we got in our hearts, it's always add your voice.
The rain though is that the guys who are here mainly to get the views and the money, they haven't turned up. So I presume that they're doing well enough that they get enough.
I mean, if you got, I never thought in that aspect, but then again, now I understand why people got cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that's the money part.
Yeah, no, some people have cameras. Like I've got this here, but it's not.
No, your one is not money.
Yeah,
but then again, money is not a bad thing to have, because the more money, it makes your world a better place to live.
No, but you see, the way I see it is that when I'm doing the ministry, since I'm like a slave here, I don't really want to do it so that other people who are also doing their slave jobs pay for me. So I prefer to pay for it myself.
That's a bit different. At the way you pull it, I don't know if I get the slave part of the whole concept.
No, but just because of the fact that we're in a situation where they rig the food prices, we have to pay tax. So they control all of that. We don't.
I mean, you see, the government has to do their job because they are in a position to do what they be trusted to do.
Yeah.
And we can't afford. We might disagree with something on many issues, but then again, imagine like being in the States, lawless states. There'll be chaos.
Yeah, no, but that's not the problem. Having the government's fine, but you see what they did is things are rigged in such a way so that the government has to take the money from the people because they owe the banks. So a whole chunk of the tax that we pay doesn't even go to run the country. That's the problem that I have.
So with government, being in a position in government, one of the policies is to have a system in place. And one of the systems, tax is something that helps the whole entire nation.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, even the roads.
yeah, but remember what I said. The tax is because too much of it goes to pay the banks. If it all went to the roads and looking after people, then there'd be no problem.
The tax it covers a wide aspect. We don't see, but we might probably have opportunity to see 5% of what the tax does. In the country as large, look at a lot of people are not working in the job seekers allowance. Where does the money come from? Support all these people.
Yeah, no, but remember what I
So,
said.
you know, a lot of people choose not to work. But then again, tax support the vulnerable in our society.
Yeah, I know,
So
but
this is where sometimes we got to look at from the bigger scopes rather than just like, I mean, we're both in the same page, but tax is very important for the development of our nation.
yeah, I know that because even in the Bible, God had a tax on the people. So tax obviously needed so that the Levites, because the Levites were like social services.
And Jesus said to give what belongs to God and give So it works hand in hand. This is the words of Jesus himself. Because otherwise the community, the country will crumble.
Yeah, well, it's because the Levites' job was to look after a lot of stuff, even medical stuff the Levites had to do. So they had to do clear up diseases, the spiritual life, and they had to do justice as well.
Spiritual and natural. It's not only spiritual, it's natural. Because the natural, we need to have a clean road, we need to have a nice building. Now it's cold, both of us in the rain at the moment, and we need a good central so it's quite a bit.
But then even now, you have the half even with
I've been coming to Speaker's Corner for more than 25 years, and I can tell you from my experience the dynamics of Speaker's Corner, how people interact with each other, and just because someone disagrees with you, because your logical analysis are flawed, it doesn't make sense. I won't call you that you are a hateful person because you call me stupid, it's because you are prejudgmental. You are judgmental because you know I am a Muslim, and you have something against
I don't know if you are a Muslim.
I don't know. Have you seen this before?
Have
you seen this before?
No, I'm not sure.
She has never seen me. Have you seen her?
I don't know if the Muslim don't ask.
I have been telling you the whole So I'm saying is, there are people who are very popular faces in this school, because they come here every afternoon, and we happen to be a regular. The fact that she knows that I'm here regularly for the last 2 decades, and yet denies any knowledge of seeing me at all. Either you have bad memory, or you haven't been coming to Speaker's Corner yourself.
Or you became too fat and ugly for me to remember.
I'm saying either you don't remember well. It's possible. I don't remember many things. I'm aging too, and my memory is failing many times. But the fact that you're saying you've never seen me before is quite telling.
Why should I have
quite telling.
other speaker? I am a speaker. I don't go to see here as speaker.
You just come here and you
I
don't
come
see any
here as
people.
a speaker. I don't come here to see.
Do you know anyone else? Have you seen this gentleman before?
This guy is a very nice
Have you seen him before?
gentleman that doesn't
So you've seen him,
like you.
and you haven't seen
Because
me.
he's polite and educated.
Right, but she has never seen me. Have I changed my... Yeah, have you ever seen a Muslim before?
Well, I don't go to religious corner. I come here in political corner. This is politics. It's not religious. Nothing to do with
This
religion.
was never a corner. This is in the middle of the road.
Here, I
Corner is over there at Common
danger
Point.
of pending war in Ukraine. I speak of the danger of imperialism. I speak of the oppression
Someone
of
who's
the
explaining
working
you
class.
logic in that sense.
That is logic. What you speak is an invisible man over there, and the Christians are more clever
see,
than you
that is-
because the invisible man over
That
there
is
is
indicative of
Jesus Christ
someone's
and he's
learned
here every
knowledge
day.
about other people. We don't believe there's an invisible man in the sky. So firstly, you have caricatured my religion without any knowledge of what I believe. That is not being very logical. If you're logical, then you're Muslim. You Muslims believe in an invisible man in the sky. Right. What kind of Islam is that? By the way, he's just in the
They believe that Allah is in the sky.
Right. So,
We Christians believe.
oh, now she's a Christian. I thought you were talking about politics. Wasn't too different. We come to tell people to start rethinking about their life and their faith and the purpose of their existence. Ultimately, yes, Muslims, we are a large group of Muslims that come here to invite people to Islam, which is submission and surrender of one's own self to the will of the one and only Creator. So in that understanding, every prophet that came, they came to tell about the same one Creator, to submit to that Creator, and that is the submission to that Creator, meaning you live your life according to the will of the Creator and the purpose of the Creator's creation. I mean, we all have
So, yes, there is hate speech in Islamic sources.
There is hate speech in the Bible. If a man should speak of another man,
Christians and Jews as the worst of creatures. In the Hadith, it says that those who make images like Christians on the day of judgment will be the most hated by Allah. The companions of the Prophet never left an image or a cross in the house of Muhammad except that he obliterated it. The Quran commands Muslims to wage war against non-believers until they become Muslim or until they pay the jizya and find themselves subdued. If I wrote a pamphlet and put it through letter boxes,
You know, you have a few people coming over from the United States, you know, and Canada, yeah, some other countries as well.
Because this country, the values have changed. There's no more Christianity, just secular liberalism. It's changed, Shafar.
Yeah, as time goes on, you know,
yourself,
churches
Shafar.
closing on. Even was it yesterday? Maybe I was going through an area, and you know they had on a church, you know, church hall for hire. You understand? Yeah, how are you, young man?
Not bad. I wish I was you.
You okay?
Rain, I think I go.
How comes it's raining, you still come here?
Well, that's what can I do?
Well, you come here now, probably, huh? That's good.
Yeah.
You come prepared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice, isn't it? I never seen it so empty.
So you can't stay away from Speaker's Corner, huh?
No, yeah. Even half an hour coming.
At least when you come, you can say hello.
Yeah.
Even the police is there.
No, I'm going to.
They have no base.
I'm going back.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you. Nice to see you. Thank you. Nice to see you too.
By the way,
What's your name?
What makes a human being conscious? What makes a human being conscious?
What makes us human beings problematic?
They are actually younger than surprisingly. Although they were done before, we don't have earlier manuscripts of the Old Testament. Even though the Young Testament is after. So if we're talking manuscripts, we don't have of the Old Testament. I don't think we have any manuscripts of the Old Testament. Oh no, we did after. No, we didn't. But then we did through the Dead Sea Scrolls. So before, if you'd asked this before the Dead Sea Scrolls were recovered, I don't think we had.
No, I don't think
we didn't have any things.
And then, sorry, and then my sorry. In Italy, if I'm not mistaken.
That for us, that would be wrong and false. So Jesus, in Matthew 16:18, he says to Peter, I will build my church. Yeah. On Peter, you are the rock, and on this rock I will build my church. The gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So then, after, so the gospel.
So did Matthew and Jesus?
Yeah, Matthew is one of the disciples. So we believe Matthew is one of the disciples. Sorry?
Was he with Jesus at the same time?
Yes, Matthew would have been.
So Jesus.
Yes, because he was one of the disciples. He's the one of the disciples, Levi. So Matthew would be one of the disciples. So what I'm saying, I just want to answer you.
Because I read different.
Okay.
I've seen, the four who wrote the Bible.
Yeah.
None of them has actually seen Jesus. That's what I read.
So John, yes, John is a disciple. So Matthew is a disciple, John is a disciple. We have Luke, who is a disciple of Paul. Paul is, the account says Paul is seen as Jesus meets Paul on the Damascus Road. He sees him. So Paul is a disciple. So Luke is a disciple of Paul, and Mark is a disciple of Peter, or close to Peter. So those are the connections with the Gospels. They're the connection with the Gospels. So going back to your point, that we do have Jesus saying, because you talked about the church, we do have Jesus saying that he will build his church. Okay. We do have accounts in tradition that Peter and Paul do go back to Rome, and they build the Vatican. So they tradition has it that they were killed on the same day. Paul chopped head off, and Peter didn't want to be crucified with the Lord, so tradition has it he wants to be crucified upside down. Yeah? So the Catholic Church, we can say, in our, Isnad, do you have an Isnad? Yeah? So the Catholic Church you can see from Peter, we have a line of the popes, right down from the popes, lines of the popes. That means Peter has, so we're not the scripture only, we are also tradition. That means that Jesus has commissioned Peter. Peter has laid his hand on Linus or Titus, Titus laying his hands, and down through the centuries we have that tradition. So we have the church. We don't have much in the early centuries, and there's a reason why. It's not like Islam. Islam was able to expand fully, and that's it. But the church was persecuted. We were persecuted, so the documents, everything wasn't there. But still, it would still be able to flourish. It would still be able to. So that's where it is. Yeah. So yeah. So going back to your point is that So we still are guarded. We still can be sure of our scripture in terms of the context. Yeah. So you may say, okay, you use the examples. You've got Old King James. So you've got NIV. You've got this. But none of them, in one sense, would be corrupted from an Islamic point of view if, say like the Islamic account of the crucifixion. So according to that, we should have really some account saying that he didn't die. Somebody appeared like it. Yeah. But we have nothing in any of these accounts. So whether King James or whether the NIV or stuff, all of them basically saying the same message. You don't have one of them saying baptize in the name of the Father only. They all say baptize in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yeah? You understand what I'm saying? So they've all got the same basic message.
On the crucifixion, there is also a story in the Bible where it says after the crucifixion, the disciples were gathered for supper. Jesus revealed to them, and they were amazed. And then, maybe I'm misquoting, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I say like, touch me. I'm a flesh. I'm no ghost.
Yes.
What that means that they thought that he was king because they haven't seen him. They thought that he was crucified.
Yes.
They haven't seen him. They heard, right? But then he revealed himself to them. That means he did not die on the cross, right? What we believe in, and that's where we depart, is that when the Jews were following Jesus to kill him, and they were insisting on crucifying him, because they could kill him any other way, they could chop off his head or something else, but to them, if you are crucified, that means you are dead. There is no way that you'll be, the Jew will be sent from Allah or from God, right? That's for their intent. And that's why they were crucified. So for our belief, that the one who was on the cross was not Jesus. God took his Jesus to him, and we don't believe that Jesus is died now. We believe that he will return to rule us as the guy was mentioned before. And that's the debate,
So when you see, remember you used this, when you was talking to us, you used about the accounts of the Gospels. Jesus came back to him, he showed them about touch. But what also you didn't notify, that he showed them the nails, the hand, the nails, and the thing in his side.
Right.
So that side, remember, it's interesting that the wound in the side. Yeah.
Yes.
So remember, Jesus was under the Romans. He's under the soldiers. So it's like, you remember, if I give you an example of Bin Laden.
Bin Laden,
yeah. So Bin Laden was captured by who? He was captured by the American soldiers, the Americans, yeah?
Yeah.
So when they say they killed him, we know they've killed him. So Bin Laden isn't alive.
Yeah.
So that's a big power thing. Same here. Jesus was under the Romans. Romans, what are they good at? They're killing. They kill. Jesus on the cross, he dies, and then the testimony as because they were going to, because he had to be taken off because the next day was the Sabbath. They had to make sure that they were dead. They saw that he was dead, but then to make sure they pierced the ring to make sure. So he died, and then he was placed in a tomb for 3 days. The tomb,
which was empty later on, right?
Yes. Why? Because of resurrection.
Right.
Jesus told the Jews. He said to them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up again." But the temple he's talking about is his body. The body, his body is the temple.
So he was referring to his body.
He's referred to his body. He's resurrected. So he's a man. He raised his body again. So all men have died. Their body, their body is decayed into the ground. But Jesus rose up his body and he showed them, and he's risen up into heaven as a man, because we believe Jesus is both God and both man. So the resurrection is a key part of our belief that Jesus is a risen Lord. He's coming back. The same Jesus who died is coming back, and that is one of the proofs of our resurrection. Do you understand? That is one of the proofs. It's a living proof, and that's who we believe. And that same resurrected Lord showed himself to Paul, and he showed himself to the disciples, and he showed himself to 500 people. So this is where they have the account. But then, if we are to say, right, okay, let us look at the accounts, because we have to verify and say who's the truth. You may say, well, Islam gives a better account. I say Christians give a better account. But we see, if you look at the Christian account of the resurrection, you see it from an eyewitness point of view. They give facts, they give details, they give about the time, they give about who was there. But then when you look at the Quranic account, it appears as though somebody's just saying it offhand. It's like me saying, this is my bag, and I show you, okay, I bought the receipt, I give this, I've given you all details. And then the other man, and someone said, oh no, that's not your bag. It only appeared to be your bag, and that's it. It doesn't, do you understand what I'm trying to get at? It doesn't weigh up.
I would say in Islam, and you can YouTube that, it's all over the place. There's more than 300 scientific facts that was proving in these modern days, that was mentioned back in some very detailed about genetics, about sociology, you name it.
So what? So say, repeat that. So you're saying where's this? Where's these fact? These
they are in the Quran.
So they're in the Quran.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So just give us one and just let me understand.
I'll give you one. There's one of the miracles of Muhammad,
right,
where his people at that time say, if you are a prophet with a message from God, give us a sign. Split the moon. They asked him to split the moon.
Right.
And he did. He showed them the moon. It was split. And I was going by God. Right.
Okay.
30 years back, it was proven that there was a crack in the moon, that split it in half back in there. So that's just one. So you tell me, how is a guy back in, for the uneducated person,
right,
who can send these messages and prove these proofs to people, that was, I would say 80% of what he said back then, it's proven right now in our modern days. 20% not yet proven. But if you tell me, like, I'll tell you in 10 facts, 8 of them was proven right. I would argue that the remaining 2 will be sometime, will be proven right. Okay. Same thing. How a man was created. How people were created.
Yeah. So let's go with that. The moon. The thing of the moon. So for me as a Christian, I find that a bit difficult, especially if I haven't read the Quran too much, but especially I think in the Quran I've read many times, that Muhammad is challenged to show a sign, and God doesn't seem to be forthcoming. There's no signs being given, and this is not just on one, it's on many occasions. So we're led to believe, just from the Quranic account, Muhammad didn't really do any miracles. For some reason, there's no miracles. Now, you base your faith on the Quran. Now, most of, say, like the accounts of the splitting of the moon, We see we see Jesus. We see how it's detailed. There's nothing in the Quran that says that Muhammad used to split the moon. I know there's a phrase of a thing about the moon split. There's nothing in the Quran we see actually doing it. We're relying on hadiths, and it's not for me.
No. It's mentioned in the Quran.
Okay, where that actually Muhammad has been used to split the moon. Where is that in the Quran?
There is a surah called Surah Al-Qamar.
Okay.
اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. That means the judgment day has become close and the Qamar has been split.
Right.
Clearly said that.
Right. That's what it says. But that doesn't say, it doesn't say that Muhammad, what Muhammad did that God used Muhammad to split the moon. You see, like,
but Muhammad is the one who's revealing the Quran to people.
Right. Let's see what I'm saying. So, in Moses split the sea. Yeah. So it doesn't. In the account, it doesn't say, the sea is split, and then we have to start using our brains and thinking, actually it was Moses who actually split the moon. The account in our scriptures shows what Moses did. He did something and shown. In the Quran, we do not see anything showing that Muhammad actually split the moon. So it just says to split the moon. It might not be Muhammad. It could be someone else split the moon, or it could have been something. But the context isn't there. We don't see it as actually Muhammad doing that miracle. So then that's why I said to you, we're faced with hadiths. And then you see the thing is Moses, the thing about Moses and Jesus, the thing about their miracles, they were public. It was a public miracle. Moses did it before all the people. Jesus fed the 5,000 before the people in the presence. The account of the split of the moon is sort of meant to be at night, and the few people, and it's all very. I'm just being honest. It all seems very. It'd be different if, say, like the Quran gives an account of the moon is split, and we see the people, and then even like the polytheists who have been demanding a sign, so he's got a sign. But for me, it doesn't wash. You understand? I'm sorry to use a thing, but I'm only just saying how it appears to myself. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, but again, to me, let's say it's someone else other than Muhammad. Muhammad is coming and he's saying he's revealing these verses or this Quran, and he's saying that it has happened. Okay. And now in your days, someone prove it that it has happened. So you explain to me how this guy whether if it's him or someone else. Right. That he can believe something that cannot be proven at that time.
Right.
He's telling you a fact about something that has happened today.
Right.
Just about the development of a fetus.
Right.
He mentioned that in details. At that time, there was no that science.
Right.
And again, not only these, there's so many of them.
Right.
On the other side, if I say, he's a liar or he's making things up or something, you take his life and you tell me where in his life, in his deed, that he's done something wrong that makes him untrustable or unreliable. All the things that he's done and he's asked us to do, even to the teachings of how like he's in teaching and let's say for example drinking water.
Sure.
You should drink it while you're sitting, not while you're standing.
Right.
Because affect your metabolism, in fact, different things. All these things, like hundreds of them in the hadith. And by the way, when they say the hadith, how the hadith reached to us, it reached from a person to a person to a person. All these people happens to be known in the history that they are trusted people.
Right.
Unlike other groups of Muslims where they can bring you disbelief hadith, you go to the lineage of that hadith. Right? If there's someone untrusted, you throw it out.
So, is it the lineage or is it where they say Sahih or whatever? It's suppose you had a hadith and you said it was Sahih.
Yes.
But then, because why I say this, I'm not being horrible, sometimes Muslims, you might give them a Sahih, but then they will look at the lineage and say, oh no, this is dodgy. So Is it because it's Sahih or because of more the lineage?
So we have two books that we rely on, which is Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. One of the four
Okay,
books.
so those,
You know,
yeah.
So those guys.
Yes.
Those guys, all what they've done is that they went back to the origins of that hadith.
Right.
And they started to trace it.
Right.
They were tracers. They went from place to place to place.
Right.
And they put it to us.
Right.
And the one that we see that it contradicts with the other ones that are Sahih, we just throw it out because again, it's not real. There's some of the hadith they say, you know, there's some people divide. They say that this is a Sahih. Some will say no.
Right.
Then we try to compare.
Right.
And with the majority of the alims, the scientists of Islam, what they say about Awdiyah, but we rely on Muslim and Bukhari.
So Muslim Bukhari. So if I suppose I
And by the way, both are non-Arabs.
huh?
Both are non-Arabs.
Both are non-Arabs.
Non-Arabs.
So if I sort of was proving something, even if it was sort of kind of negative or positive, if I drew from the hadith and it was Bukhari or Muslim and it was Sahih, does a Muslim have to accept that, even if it was negative?
Sorry, say that again.
So suppose I had something negative about Islam,
Right.
or something, or even positive.
Right.
So we say negative or positive. If I seem to back it up by the Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari,
Bukhari, yeah.
does a Muslim have to accept that?
No, because
No.
in the hadith, the Prophet himself says,
Right.
whoever shall talk about me
Right.
or on my behalf,
Right.
something that I'd never say, that
Right.
means he should prophesize his chair in heaven, right?
Okay. But how do you know he doesn't? How do you know that what? So how do you know? So let's just say it's something about Muhammad. So we use the thing about Muhammad, and let's just say it's something negative about Muhammad.
Right.
But that Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari is backing up that negative. How would you then make a judgment and say that is not said of Muhammad? Do you understand?
If it's in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, we approve it.
Even if it was
Even if
negative,
it was negative.
on
Because-
Muhammad. That's what I
because-
wanted to
yeah,
know. I just
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to
no,
know.
no, no,
I just wanted to know.
But even if something positive at the same token, if
Yes.
something positive,
you have to
but it's not. But
believe.
again, something positive that means it goes in line with what Bukhari and Muslim say.
Right.
But again, sometimes people are saying stuff and we disbelieve it.
Yes.
It's positive, but we
Yes.
deny it.
Right.
Where being
Yes.
Muhammad or they exaggerate.
Yes.
And we said no, that's wrong.
Right.
Because he never said that. He never
Right.
did that or
Right.
whatever. Or it's act or say.
Right.
We never agreed that.
So for me, I'm just getting I've just got I'm just going to start to read the Quran. I think I've got a book picked for, but I find it hard in terms of, I know that Muslims tend to put, you know, for us as Christians, we don't really put the Bible as a book that is affirming science. Not that it's not true, but science is a more modern word, a more modern thing, and the God used ancient people. They were quite primitive, and they spoke from a primitive point of view. It seems hard that for me, it seems like you're drawing something that's not quite there, because surely Muhammad is speaking to the people, that generation of that time. They don't really know science. If we're talking science, we wouldn't use that word science. You might say reason, philosophy, but they're not science.
Yeah, but
So how can
Quran is a book of science, not a
Huh?
science.
science?
It's science. You
So
know,
it's
there's
science.
a science.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there's
I
science.
would
So it's
say
not
science.
So
No.
it's not really a book of science, but it's a
Absolutely not.
sign.
It's-
Okay.
It's a sign. You know, there's a sign that when I tell you, for example, you know, sun will come from this way.
Right.
The sun came over. It's a sign.
Right.
There's no scientific details about it. No, not at
Right.
all. Even about the development of fetus, how
Yeah.
does it, grow
Right.
and how all of that mentioned, but it's mentioned in very I'll say headline.
Right.
You know, so it's a science. It's not a science.
So it's a sign.
No, I wouldn't say Quran is a book of science. I've read it
Right.
thousands of times. You know. Nothing mentioned there that it's a science.
So it's not book of science. So in terms of science, so talk about the sun and the things. What is the sign then? You wouldn't be saying a sign. What is the sign then of the where Muhammad talks about Dal Kanan and he says Dal Kanan. I think it's Dal Kanan. I think it's meant to be Dal Kanan.
Yes, sir.
And then he follows the path and thing. And then he says he found, he said he found the sun setting in a pool of murky water. So what is what would you say the science and the signs when you because you use it's more of a sign than science, but surely also it cannot go against science because you sort of promote science. How do you tie the two with that account?
I haven't heard about that story at all, where the sun sets on the.
You've never heard the thing? Dal Kanan?
No, I know the Qarnayn. Yeah, I know the story about it, but never mentioned that actual fact that just or actual information. Just said that the sun sets on.
Oh yeah, he said definitely that because that's one of the key key things of when I read I'm not sure if it's Surah 18 or
1886.
Huh?
Surah 1886.
Surah 1886. So the phrase has got it. Maybe, do you mind if you just read that?
Yeah, just.
So do you read the Quran?
Of course.
Okay.
But we read from the Arabic text, the original text, the Arabic.
Okay, well that's good. But it's great. But the books that I know you said you read the Quran, right? But see, my translation is Pixel. He's supposed to be obviously he knows Arabic. But most of them I've read, even if it was Yusuf Ali, they use that. They use the same term. Maybe this if he can read it, for us. So you've never heard that? Right, okay.
Alright, do you want it? So this is Surah, I'll start from 83.
Okay.
And it says, and they ask you, O Muhammad, about Dhul Qarnayn, saying, I'll recite to you about him a report. Indeed, we established him upon the earth, and we gave him from everything away. So he followed away, until he reached the setting of the sun. He found it setting in a body of dark water, and he found there a people. We said, O Dhul Qarnayn, either you punish or else adopt among them goodness.
Yeah. You've never
heard that, no.
No?
In the Arabic book, I need to go back to it and check it.
So yeah, go read the Arabic. You get the Arabic and get
This is Surah Al-Kahf.
Yeah. So read that one of what it says in the Arabic, because that would be
Well, the Arabic, the closest is dark mud. Hmm? The closest to the Arabic is dark mud.
Oh right. Do you know Arabic?
No.
You've read it. All right. Okay.
I've researched this one quite a bit.
You researched Arabic. Okay.
Yeah.
You might have things. So let's interesting to see what he says.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Then to reach the Dhul Qarnayn, to the sunset, he saw her on the side of an eye, as if it is going down in a hot place with the black mud.
Right.
But that's what he said. He never said that. Say translation again. Sorry, what he said.
So you repeat yours one again.
Okay. So until Dhul Qarnayn reached to the sunset, he saw it in the eyesight, as if it is going into a hot place.
So, as if it's going in, he's seen it as if it's going into the hot plate.
Yeah, exactly. He's seen it in the eyesight, but like, it's just like, how I say, I saw someone coming from there, like say, if I say, I saw David Beckham running like 300 miles, and he's imaging this something what he sees. So he's kind of explaining how it appears. That does not mean that's how it should be. This is how he sees it. That's a difference.
Because I know that some of the translations say
No, it's all right.
as if. In that there is what word does it? What word is that Arabic?
It's called كأنها.
Kannaha.
كأنها.
And that's in the thing, so it says as if, as if that is in. Okay, all right, that's interesting.
So that's again when I say, when someone tells me, like, you explain to me something and you tell me that as if it is like you saw a big tree and it was like coming from hell or something, you're making it looking like something, you're trying to simplify it for me so I can understand it, right? Or how I can describe it. That does not mean that's how it should be.
Okay.
Arabic is very, very specific language. When you say something, it cannot be, it's either this or that.
So what then is that, so basically Allah is telling this story, really. That's what Allah is saying. And that's what he's saying, that, but for me then, if that's the case, even if it was it, for me it seems like quite almost a banal story. It seems very silly. I mean, it's almost like, say like a Hindu says, oh, this Hindu person, he knows all knowledge and thing, and he travelled up all into the sky, and then what he found that the rain just comes out of the thin air sky. But you don't need to travel all over the place to see that you think that the rain comes out to the sky. Because we know it doesn't really. It seems like it comes to the sky, but it comes out of the clouds. So it seems kind of pointless that Allah is saying about this Dulkarnain, you give him, I think it talks about strengthening him and stuff like that. He goes to that place, and it says it goes to a place where the sun sets. There's a place, it's used the word, place sun sets, that's like a place, but where is that? You don't need to go where the sun sets. Especially if I can see it, the sun sets here, so I'm in a place where the sun sets, where I can see, because I can see the sun set from here. I don't need to travel all over the world and find a place where I think the sun's, unless you're saying, oh, it's a place where it's clear and there's no sort of trees or thing, and then you can see it, but to see it as if it's sunset. And the thing, see, this is another thing, sorry, this is the point, is about the hadith, and I haven't got it with me. The other thing behind that same thing is that we have hadiths where Muhammad is with his colleague or whatever, and it's Muhammad, he says, I think it's Muhammad who asks him, he said, oh, such and such, do you know where the sun sets?
It's Abu Dar.
Huh?
Abu Dar.
Abu Dar. So
Yeah.
you're like, me? I don't know. He knows everything. I don't know. But then, if it's Abu Dar, that person, whoever that person says something like, "Oh, Muhammad, Allah and His Apostle knows best." So I think that's be a refrain that Muslims often say. Must be, yeah. And then Muhammad has been, I don't know even if it's Sahih or whatever, this account.
Yes, it's Sunan Abu Dawud. It's Sahih. Yeah.
It's Sahih,
Yeah.
right? So then Muhammad says that the sun sets in water or a place of water, muddy water, or something along those lines. So Muhammad affirms that that's what he's doing.
Where's that in Abu Dhar?
Oh, you want? All right, I'll give you. I'll get the reference. Okay.
But again, there's like stories where it says, for example, about Ahl al-Kahf, like people of the cave, who people went there with their dog. And so sometimes, if you're asking about details about the story, like you can say, what type of dog was that? Was it a German Shepherd, Rottweiler?
Right.
If there's a point of God mentioning the type of that, he would mention it, right? But never mention it. So I would go into every single story and cherry pick stuff about, okay, where is this
Sure.
happening, where is this happening? What's
Sure.
the point of having this,
Sure.
right? Sometimes you have a story, you have the moral of the story,
Right.
you know, and you get it. There's
Right.
so many other details you can click on, which is,
Right.
you know, what benefit that
But
add for you.
why I sort of brought it up is because I think from your first dialogue you were sort of saying that a lot of the Quran, Muhammad reveals things that, you know, is showing us about science. And then I know you sort of said, well, it's more the science. But I think the first thing is you sort of like saying he's given us knowledge that shows in terms of science is quite, you know, quite good. But that's why I tried to say in terms of, you know, scientifically, you know, obviously science is good. But go on, so maybe read that, maybe you read that.
Yeah. So what he's saying here, he's saying هل تدري أين تغرب هذه? Do you know where that sun sets? قلت الله ورسوله أعلم. He said Allah and his prophet knows more than a mile. فقال إنها تغرب في عين الحامية. عين الحامية is like, how do you translate that? عين الحامية is like hot eye?
Warm water, I think they translate.
No, it's not water. عين الحامية is not water.
Okay.
No.
So what?
عين is a place. عين actually is the eye.
So it's a hot eye.
Yeah, but that's not the actual translation, because it cannot be a hot eye. Hot eye here, eye should be a place. Ain is a place.
So
Hamia is a hot.
So what would you sort of what it's sort of translated? So what would you say that Muhammad is saying then? What from that
Scientifically, I would say this is like in a hot place.
So Muhammad is saying that the sun sets in a hot place.
Yeah, or wherever it goes down in a hot place. So I would say maybe if I was going against scientifically, against that, I would say, okay, maybe on the other side where it's sunset, this is like there's other places in the world is hotter than other places.
Right.
Right. So it could be that, but there's no specific sign about that says.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Hello. Hello. حسنا. الو ابو علي ها شوف يلا باي يلا اوكي باي sorry yeah so that's what I would say but it's not a place
but for but for me it seems like God, because the issue is you see Islam boasts a bit more than the Christians, the Bible, especially in terms of Revelation. So your scriptures, you know, the Quran, so with us, I don't know if you know our format of Revelation, the Holy Spirit moves upon the men and they move and they speak. So there is a sense of it will be from the man's point of view. So we can say Paul wrote it, but God's Holy Spirit inspired him and stuff. So it's coming from the man. But your Quran is coming from the all-knowing, all-knowledgeable God. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Most of the time, Muslims boast, or all Muslims, that there's no influence from any man. There's no influence from any man, or even an angel, even though Gabriel. So this is supposed from an all-knowing, all-seeing God. And so it seems.
I would say the same thing about all prophets. I don't believe any prophet, not even Moses when he makes his water with the right. It's not his own thing. This is by Allah. It's given to him. So,
right.
So he's just a person, you know, that Allah gives the power to prove to his people his point or his relation at that time.
Yeah.
Even Muhammad is not a magician, is not all what he's done is by the support of Allah.
Yeah.
To prove his point. That's it.
But it seems as though that Allah only knows from a point of view of the primitive people, because the primitive people, we would say, you know, although we use that language even now, we know that, you know, when you see the sun setting, that's what we're seeing. But now, because of our knowledge, we know that it's not actually going down the setting, there's a going setting. So Allah should reveal it in the terms of what he knows, not in terms of what the people would view or see. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because this is the book of Allah, and Allah should be helping us and showing his glory, that he's all knowing. He knows not that we know, you know, because he says Allah, the people say Allah and his apostle know best. But do they know best? Because Muhammad is saying the same thing as what the Quran's saying, or what the belief is, that they must have had a belief that the sun is going down into a place, which really it doesn't do that. It's just that the earth is rotating. Do you understand?
Sure.
So if there's no influence, because for that to be the word of God, it mustn't be set in from an Arabic man in AD 500 or 600, or even now. It should be an all-knowing, all-encompassing God speaking. Do you understand? But it doesn't seem. It actually seems as if it's set in that time. Do you understand?
At the same talking, what is the shape of the globe? What is the shape of the globe that we know right now?
It's round.
It's not completely round.
Huh?
It's not completely round.
Huh?
It's not completely round.
Not completely round,
No.
but it's circle. It's a circle.
It is
Of a
exactly in the shape of an ostrich egg. It's not a full circle.
What?
So it has. It's not a full. It's not like a football. I'd say.
It's more a football than a ostrich egg.
It is more of an ostrich egg, and that's proven by cartoon. Google it, and you'll see it. And that's what has been said back then. And correct me if I'm wrong. It says, "والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها." Dahaha in Arabic means, you know, it's more of the ostrich. So it's not the actual.
You were saying more oval.
Right, precise. Until 1800s, or maybe to recent days, people still think that the Earth is flat, right?
Right.
That's what I'm giving this one example of what has been said in Arabic.
Right. So you know that account where it says about the. So does the Quran actually say it's? Does it actually say that the Earth is like is an ostrich egg, or is it something it's sort of inferring and then? That do you understand? So it says it's like an ostrich egg.
Yeah, but
what does an ostrich egg look like? Could you show us it or think? Because we have leave to the moon, and when they've looked, that it's like a globe. You know, it's like a. I know it's not perfect round, but it is.
That's what I'm saying. It's not perfect round. It's not perfect round.
But not maybe perfect round. But then, when you've got the eclipse, the sun is sort of round, and then it kind of blocks it round. You can almost see that it follows the same shape. So it does seem to be more of a globe than an ostrich type.
And again, the point is not about the actual shape, but you tell me from that day till the modern day, till the 1800s,
Right.
years back, who did know that the Earth or the globe is
No,
round?
they did. Yeah, they did. I mean, I'm sure they would have had. They generally believe that the Earth was flat, but I'm not sure whether the. I don't know. I'd have to find out.
Because in the 1800s, before the regulation against the church in France, you know, where they say they were believing that the Earth is flat, they were believing that, you know, all the thunder and storm was actually demons fighting angels and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things. You know, again,
Middle East.
yes, and again, I'm not saying people in that area believe something. We have a lot of people in our area that believe different things.
Yeah. Primitive people with.
But again, back to the point that it's only science. Like, you keep telling about science that most of it was proven right. I would say, if you can go, if you can just Google or YouTube, a guy called Ahmed Didat.
Okay.
We can get specific, you know, all about those forms and all about these differences. You know, I'm just a normal person. You know, I have some information, you know, but there's something that, you know, which I build my information. I'll try to search and Google and read the Bible and see where it's different, where things that bring us more together. Because again, I believe in all these differences. I believe that in a very simple way that there is a God that three different people believe in a different way.
Right.
And three different times.
Sure,
So,
sure, sure.
But yeah.
So in terms of like, you must have thought that you know there is a big difference between Christianity and Islam, especially in the core beliefs in, you know, concept of God, you know, salvation, how we do life. So how do you see it when Muslims say that your faith and religion is to confirm the religion or the past, you know, the religion of the past? So, you know, the Christians and the Jews. So, because I'm going to go on to it, I've asked Muslims here, and they've talked about, I'm trying to get an idea of what the Torah is, or the Injil. It's like looking for the looking for UFOs. Muslims, they don't seem to be able to give me anything about this. Remember the Torah and the Injil, which your book is talking about. Everything is very vague. I don't understand. Maybe you can.
So we believe, I'm going to speak myself. I believe that the Torah is the book that was revealed to Moses.
Right. Okay. Right? Can we stop there?
Sure.
Can you sort of flesh it out? Where is it? What does that look like? What is it? You're saying that. Is it the first 5 books that the Jews have? What is it?
What we were told is that all these books, we called the people of Torah and Injil, the Christians, Ahlul Kitab.
Okay.
The people of book.
All right, the people of the book. That's good. Yes.
However, we were told that these books were changed over the time.
Right. Okay.
So it's not the actual revolution of God.
So it's not the revolution of God.
They are the revolution, but they were changed.
So.
At that time.
So when Muhammad or things talk about the Injil, is he talking about the changed book or a book that was not changed?
He's talking about the facts that were mentioned in that book that were right. You know?
So he's not. So when he's talking about a book, he's not talking about a book itself. He's only talking about portions in that book that are right. So
that's my understanding.
So Muhammad can confirm the portions of the book that are right. But then, how do we know objectively, first of all, what portions that book is right, and how would you know, and how does Muhammad know, and how are we to know? I just want to know.
First of all, we have the same thing as you guys have. The Ten Commandments, we have exactly the same.
Oh, so you're saying the Ten Commandments would be, but so
another example. I mean, the Ten Commandments, I agree with it because Muhammad has mentioned that was mentioned in the Quran.
Okay.
Right? The stories, for example, that was told about the prophets in the Bible.
Right.
You know, about the committing adultery and something.
Right.
We don't believe that.
Okay.
We believe in the stories that he told us to be right in the Quran.
So you believe what the Quran says about those things.
Yeah.
So in a sense then, I would say that you're not really confirming that which was in the past. You're only confirming what you, as the Quran says, that was in the past. So it's almost like me saying that, you know, my house is confirms that house there, and then when we go to look at that house, there's difference with my house, but then when you look back and say, oh right, well no, anything of that house, that's all thing, that's not right about that house. So it's not really that house you're being based on. You're based on what you believe of that house. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't. It seems. For me, it doesn't mean that he's Muhammad is confirming that which is of the past. He's only confirming that what he says of the past. And that's two different things. And so therefore we've got no objective way of proving that Muhammad is in harmony with the past. You see, because if I'm in harmony with the past is the past. Yeah, that is the past. So I can't go back and really change that past and say, oh, I'm in harmony with the past, because the past is the past. Do you understand? If I've done something, that's what I've done. Everything's been done. That's the past. I can't go back and say I'm in harmony with the past and then change that past. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, it seems, when you say that in terms of both the Torah and the Injil, if I was to become a Muslim, I have no certainty that actually I'm putting a trust in a religion that is in harmony with the past, the prophets. Because for me, it's not the prophets, it's what Muslims and Muhammad and things are saying of the prophets, what of the past. Do you understand? So you have no problem with that?
No, it's not. Absolutely, I have no problem with that, because I have, again, not only the faith that I have in my prophet, but also the faith of what he's telling me, which makes all the sense. So, for example, when someone comes to me and tells me, like, this is the common word that Christian or Jews or anyone will say, oh, Islam is led by the sword, Islam is led by the sword. There are more than 5 words in Arabic that meaning the sword. Guess how many times they were mentioning in Quran? Zero. Absolute zero. So when you're allegating about Islam, that he's bringing out the word. And by the way, in the same books of the Bible, or the people who are talking about the Bible, they say, Jesus said, I came with the sword, I came with the sword, right? And they're saying, no, actually back in Italy, when they were translating the script, they said, oh, there's something dropped on the S, so it was actually with the word. So, so there's a lot of stuff of people contradicting themselves when they're explaining about it. You tell me where's the contradiction in saying about Islam. Islam never said any bad thing about Christianity, about Judaism. Not cherry picking out, so he's telling us what has been revealed at that time, and then things have been changed. So I cannot go so for example, the changes or differences in Christianity, as my understanding, and you correct me if I'm wrong, between Catholic and Protestant and so many groups are vital or major differences, whereby in Islam, for example, if you have like the 4 major sheikhs that or ways that we follow, Abu Hanifa and Hanbal and these guys, the changes or the differences are not in principle. The principle is the same. So if I say I have to pray now, I have to pray. One guy will tell you I can do this, another guy I can do this. These are differences. It's not in the principle. The principle is one. And that's what it's good. When you tell me like you believe in something that is picked up from the past, you're not taking you're saying that you're not getting the entire truth about something that you tell me from the past, but it might be wrong, right? That's why I say it's a mix between belief and between what I have seen between differences between different books, that I would say.
So I'm just trying to get your view and understanding of how that is, because presumably, Allah is all knowing and exists. He came before, he must have came before Muhammad, and he must have spoken before Muhammad. But then when we look, the Islamic, if I say the Islamic Allah doesn't seem to be there in history, and it's okay. You say, like, even you said about the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments is coming from a God, right? He doesn't reveal himself as Allah, because Allah, if you said Allah, is almost like translated Elohim, God. So they know him as God, Elohim, yeah? But then that Elohim, they want to know, Moses wants to know his name. He already knows he's God, because there's gods everywhere. There's the gods of Egypt, the Allahs of Egypt. You say Allah, Allah, Allah.
It's how you name it, basically. So to us it's one, regardless of time.
Yeah, but you see, but what I'm going to try and say is that when you say that you're connecting yourself with the 10 Commandments, what I'm saying, but the 10 Commandments of the Christians, of the Jews, has been revealed by a God called Yahweh. That is a disconnect. That is a bit of a disconnect, because you're trying to connect So, because remember, we're going back to about Allah in history, Allah before, Islam came. We don't see that Allah because that is Yahweh. But then it's almost like.
But that's the naming of it. Just like that's the naming that you give to that person or form. Because just like you tell me, Cristiano Ronaldo is a great player. You call him Cristiano, I call him Chris.
Yeah.
Someone call him Ronaldo. No?
But the problem with that is that it's what God, Allah, has revealed his name as. He hasn't revealed his name as Allah, and he actually reveals as Yahweh, and that's the name forever. So forever his name's in Yahweh. It isn't Allah. That name with the Ten Commandments is that revealing, as you said you could say. That connection is with Yahweh. All the prophets are the prophets of Yahweh. And then the Old Testament, God, you say you're connected with. It was known as you'd have to embrace him as Allah of Israel.
God of Israel,
yeah. Yeah, Allah of Israel. Do you embrace the Allah of Israel?
Yeah.
You say so. You could say you believe in the Allah of Israel. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But do you understand? What I'm trying to say is that I don't get that. I find it that Muslims are almost doing Back to the Future. They're sort of like they're going back in the past and placing Allah where he doesn't seem to fit.
I cannot go back and impose that on you. And at the end of the day, to me, the principle that Allah is to me as Allah, right? As revealed in the Quran and read by Prophet Muhammad. How he was back then, he's the same. He's never changed. But at that time, people call him Elohim, people call him Glory or whatever. I cannot go back and supersede these names by Allah because it comes my time. I can't go back in the past and worship. But I believe in him as an Allah. Whether we call him Glory, you call him Elohim, doesn't change it.
But sure you are, because aren't Muslims going back and cherry picking and saying, well, this bit we will take, this bit we take of Allah, this bit will God, this bit is not the right bit, this will be the bit. It seems like cherry picking. Right? I don't see any Muslims drawing upon God as Father. Or I don't see them drawing, in terms of Yahweh.
Because
see,
when we say about Father, we have clear surahs that says, قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد. He was never born, never give birth. So it was clear. Arabic is very clear. So when he says that, so I deny any naming, any fact that he was a father, he had siblings, or nothing like that. So that's what I'm saying.
But you know that through Israel is Allah's firstborn son.
Israel. Whatever contradicts with the Quran, I don't believe it.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm trying to get at? But this has been said, and this has been placed right throughout history amongst the Jewish people.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm trying to say is that we don't have. You believe in Allah. He's all known, but he's also had to move in history in the past. We don't sit to your the Allah. What you're saying isn't the Allah who moved amongst the Jewish people in the thing, because you don't have that account.
Yeah.
The Jews have. We have it. That's the account of the thing. You have to show Allah in history doing what you're saying, because we don't see it. What I'm finding for Muslims, they're sort of jumping and saying, oh well, he is there, and he is there, but actually that bit wasn't there, this bit wasn't there, this bit, and I'm thinking, well, hold on, how does that happen? It's almost like it would be, evidence in a court. They said this and this and this will happen, and you go back and say, well, no, that didn't happen, this didn't happen, this, but this, it doesn't weigh up, and the thing about God is he's a God of reality. You see, he's a God of what is, and he he unfolds history. He moves in the history. You know what I mean? And he moves in the thing. So we're going back to the fact of, yeah, it seems that you've got Allah now, but when you look at Allah, like AD 100, AD 200, AD 300, AD 400, you don't really see Allah.
That's according to the people at that time. It's just like you're arguing the fact with me. It's like, let's say, for example, I don't agree with you. How do you cover up your women? How do you go back to Paul, and the Bible. He says, for those who doesn't cover, he said, shave up her hate. Right?
Yeah.
Where do people follow up that right now? So, again, yes, maybe you can call it cherry picking, but I'm cherry picking what follows with my teaching, right?
Right.
With respecting to all of your beliefs.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, okay, I'm denying your beliefs. No, I'm cherry picking from your scripture or from your saying at that time what follows with mine.
Right. But then in a way, sorry, is that you would believe then the people that they've corrupted all those some certain parts in those scriptures. But how then do you know the bits that you've taken on isn't corrupted? And how do we know that we don't? But you're still in a problem. We're still both in a problem, or your problem is that you don't actually know what that original did say. So even if I said, well, that original, what you said, it could have said, oh, actually, the Prophet's come was never going to be an Arab, Muhammad, and it could also say that actually the people, the Muslims, are going to believe that a Prophet's come. They're going to believe he's going to be a prophet for such and such a time until something comes. So it might have said that. The original might have said that, but you don't know. And then we're being in trouble.
We don't know the original. You tell me, you refer to me, where is the original version of all these books? I can go to it, analyze it, and see where the right things are, where the wrong things. The same thing, again, I agree with the Quran. I'm assuming that it's never been changed for 400 years. So I'm going to go and analyze it, First, I think in every religion, if it has a book, first to the text.
Yes.
And see where let's say most of it's right, or a percentage of it's right. Yeah. And it makes sense to you, just follow it.
Yeah.
And again, back to the point that if I'm not born in a Muslim family, I work with religion, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, any Islam, you put it there and put it there of what fits for me as a person to live my life, and what's not.
Yeah. Well, with the test of our scriptures is that that we don't have any. When we talk about the Injil and the Torah, when we talk about the Torah, the Old Testament, we have. That's what we have. We have these books, the first 5 books, and we have the prophets and the Psalms. So that's what we have. We don't have any other books. And then even we had the Dead Sea Scrolls come up, and by and large they're the same. They're the called Isaiah, all these prophets. This is what we have in the Old Testament. Same with the New Testament. What we have in the Gospels. This is what we have is written. So in history, this is what we have. To sort of say that, well, that has been changed and it's not the original, or it's been corrupted. My first thing, if anyone says something's been corrupted or been changed, I would ask them, well, what was it before? Why do you say it's corrupted? And so we do have that confidence that the Old Testament, what we have, is the Old Testament. Being based on the fact that, we have the sense of before when Muhammad speaks. So Muhammad is talking, if he's talking to Christians, we can earth it. Muhammad talks to the people, the Christians, and the people of the book. So it's there. That's around. And we know that the New Testament is before Muhammad. We have documents, we have manuscripts, and we have one after. But we don't have any of the Injil, or the Islamic Injil. And Muslims don't have an idea or clue what that may be, or well, they may do bits that confirm yours, but they don't know the format of how it is. And same with the Torah, they don't know They don't know.
The reason why they say that is because there are so many virgins that contradict themselves. The reason why they're saying that is because there are so many virgins that contradict themselves.
In what way? That's what I say.
In a fact.
What sort of fact?
So for example, again, going back to Trinity facts, going back to all these stories about all these prophets and these books, different books, we say, in Quran we say, God says that, damn those who uses my words to make some money out of it. You know, and you see how these virgins or these Bibles, for example, or even from Torah, were being commercialized to make profit and to make money out of it. You know, and that comes with different factors. Even going from the history, in every era there was different virgins that either something was put on or something was thrown out. And that confuses us, right? Why you have all these time that changes over time, and you throw some facts or you put some other. It's just to suit that timing that you live in and how you want to sell that to people.
Right. So the
apologies, I took a lot of your time.
No, you're not taking a lot. It's great to think. The thing is, we do have virgins and versions and translations. But when you said they don't, in terms of like the apostle, what they record about the prophets, they aren't contradictory. They all say the same. So not one wouldn't say, say like Lot sleeping with his daughter. One doesn't have Lot sleeping with his daughters, and then the other one thinks, oh, this is a bit funny, it doesn't quite right. We won't put Lot sleeping with his daughters or change it. No, it's not like that. All the versions have the essence of the story. What we're saying is that the scriptures we have, they're a book of history, and unfortunately through history as you go down, it's not like the Quran, Allah presumably has promised he'll protect that book, and then there's going to be no corruptions whatever. It's been handed down, and then they've had to recopy it and stuff that's been coming down. So then we have a kind of bit of corrupted text, and we think most of what the Christians are doing is trying to go back to the original, what the original authors say. So they're going back using manuscripts and taking manuscripts and then trying to use. But what I was going back to is all those versions you say, they all basically say the same. That's I'm saying that if you use the prime example about the crucifixion, the resurrection, none of them have a story like what Islam, about.
What would you say if I were to read the Bible in its original text? What would you say the most reliable version of the Bible?
For me, if I was to say, I'm a Catholic, I would say the Douay Rheims. Right. That's a book. It's based on the Latin Vulgate of Jerome, but it's difficult in terms of translation, because when you translate, you've got to be careful. You want to be faithful to the text, but also it needs to be in a way, a format that you can understand. So that sometimes you get lost. You won't get it's hard if you want to because some do for meaning and transliteration, some do for kind of style, make it easy.
It's lost in translation.
I was just going to say, the reason why we have so many different translations, the actual main reason is because they got so many different manuscripts. Right. And because there's such a vast number of them, and some of them, the text is slightly different between them. So what the difference between the translations is actually the translators deciding which one they want to use. Right. Okay. So that's what makes the difference.
But with that translation, does any of the meanings lost in between? That's the thing. You can do different translations of different versions, but then do you have major differences with it? That's why I'm asking which one is the most reliable one?
No. See, what it is, the differences are just in the words. So the actual like doctrine and meaning is the same in all of them. It's just the words used to express it is different. That's what's different.
You were on the
Oh really? I've got a thing. How did I do?
You were like
Oh, I'll have to see. I'll have to look for it. I'll look up and see.
Brother, it was an honor to talk to
Are
you.
you
I have to go.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you
flying
very
tomorrow
much.
back to my home. It was an
Yeah,
honor to talk to you.
yeah.
I apologize if I was like
No, please, and please get the Bible and read about Jesus. Jesus loves you, yeah? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, take care, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and God is a church. So what I'm saying is first of all, the Bhagavad Gita says that if you are my devotee, I will provide all your basic needs. God does not say He will give you all that. God does not say that He will give me the best bike I want. He says I will attend to your basic needs. In no matter what age, no matter where, I will attend to your basic needs. If you die without your basic needs, get the Bible passage out. Get the Bible passage out. Shout the Bible at home. I don't know. Go to look at the context. Is it okay? Is God immortal? Okay, now I'm moving on now. Is God I don't want to do hang on. Is God immortal? Oh, okay, so you want to go back to John chapter 17. Okay, then even better. So the only true God is the Father, correct? The only true God is the Father, correct? You just said, you see, you just said two wrongs. No. The read from God. You're modifying your statements all the time. You're not realizing. You know, we Muslims, we say very clearly, Allah is one and only. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say He's Allah one and only. Allahu samad. Allah, the self-sufficient, the one whom everyone depends, but He doesn't depend on anyone else. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not those who begotten. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There's nothing like unto Him. It's a very clear-cut statement that Allah is one and only. No, Allah is independent and Allah is independent and independent at the same time. No cloudy understanding. Allah, we say pure monotheism. Allah is that's it. Now what you're doing is you're trying to reconcile. This doesn't make sense. You're saying the only true God is the Father, and now you're trying to reconcile Jesus is God. You explain to me. What do you understand about feeding and so how long is what is Jesus' understanding? Do you know we also became flesh by God's word. From the end. That's it. It's simple. What's so special? We need to check the facts. I'm sure you're more than capable until you question yourself other than being distracted.
Yeah, even Thomas said.
I am not using semantics, my friend. I ask you a direct question. What did Jesus think who He was in relation to God? And you are struggling to answer the question. I'm not struggling to answer. Then please tell us what He was. Yeah.
That's the works that He did. That's fine. That's a good answer for the works.
What did He think He was?
How did He profess Himself to be?
Did He think He was God?
But yes.
Okay, He says yes.
He says yes. What do you think?
Yes.
He says
many times.
What do you
explained
think? So you have the one who distracts you constantly. He's telling you that he thought he was God. But you have an independent understanding of the scripture. So maybe you can. I'm not talking to you. So maybe you can tell us. Why are you going far and far away?
Swap
Come
places
closer.
if you want, because the umbrella's going to hit you.
Come closer. You're going far and far away.
Come closer to Mansoor, brother. He's being sincere.
The question isn't very difficult to answer. The Bible itself answers the question. The only problem is, have you read the Bible? That's the question. According to Jesus Christ, if I ask you, Wiley, if I ask you, who is the only true God according to Christ? The only true God.
Twisting the Bible has read the Bible.
Would you mind telling us? Because I know the answer. Do you know the answer?
Well, that's good if you know the answer.
No. According to the Bible, Christ has told us who the only true God is. I know it. Most people know it here. Do you know it?
I know that Jesus said.
That's not my question. I am asking you.
Telling you my
So maybe you haven't read the Bible
You are using your
enough to understand what Christ is or who He is.
practical.
My brother,
Have you read the
even
entirety of the
Pharisees
Bible?
and Sadducees, they were asking the same
Wiley,
question.
have you read the Bible?
They were asking the same question. Pharisees and
Look,
Sadducees,
Bible
they
is
were
not
asking the same question.
Do you believe in the Bible?
And Jesus said, "You hypocrite! You hypocrite! I'm with you all the time.
I believe
And you don't know who am I?"
I believe in the living word. I believe in the word that causes miracles to come forth. I believe in a God that loves us. I believe in a God who has.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Huh? Do I read the Bible?
Do you believe in the Bible?
Do I believe? I'm trying to tell you
Do
what I
you believe the
as
Bible?
a result of reading the Bible.
So you believe it?
Do you believe the Bible?
So,
I'm telling you
my
what
next
as a
question.
result.
Have you
of
read it?
I've read it.
Have you read the entirety of the New Testament?
I've read the Bible.
Yeah.
Thank you. According to the Bible that you have read, Christ actually identified in black and white terms, categorically, without leaving any doubt. He identified who the only true God is. Do you know what Christ said about the only true God in the Bible?
For a long
If you don't know, I can tell
time.
you.
For a long time, even
What I do
Jesus'
know-
disciples, they were doubting like you.
Do you know
They
or
were
do you
doubting
don't?
like you.
We all have
That
our doubts, but some people have
if
doubts
you
whether
are
God is really
God,
God, even
if you are
the
God,
children of Israel,
show us.
after Exodus.
Please show us. Please show
I
us
am evidence.
how you are
I
God.
am evidence that
And
Jesus
Jesus
is alive.
said, "I'm with you all the time."
So
If
it's
I
not about
ask
doubt
you,
or no
if
doubt.
I ask you
It's not
a
about
question, have you read a particular statement in the Bible where Christ identifies who the only true God is, and you say, "I know who the true living God is"? You are not being very genuine. You're not being very sincere. You're not being
he
very
is
straight
sincere.
to me, are
He
you?
is sincere who know nothing. You are very. That's what
We give him,
Can you open up your Bible?
kudos. We give Jesus kudos.
Do you mind opening up? I will show you. Open up
We
your
give
Bible.
kudos to the fact that Jesus was saved by the Creator.
No matter what I say, it's not going to make it.
No, no, no.
No, I'm telling you, I know. Like I said,
It is
you are
evidence.
No need.
You are into semantics.
need
A
to-
lot
I
of
am
semantics.
I am into semantics.
You are construct.
He is
You
a
are
hypocrite.
you are
He
definitely.
is a hypocrite, like Pharisees and Sadducees. He is a hypocrite.
So you are not interested to know what Christ said about who God
Oh,
is.
he knows very well. He knows very well
You're not
that
interested.
Christ
You're not interested in knowing
showed
who
himself
Christ
that
identified
I'm
as
Alpha
the only
and
true
I'm
God.
Omega.
You are not interested in it.
Turn this way.
Don't worry.
You
don't worry.
believe in
It won't
Christ,
hurt
and
you.
yet
It
you
won't
don't
hurt
want to
you.
know what Christ said about who the true God is.
You're being malicious then.
Yeah.
And you call that semantics.
Don't worry, don't worry. It won't hurt you.
It's not about saying,
Do you not
I don't
feel-
care, brother. I've got this to.
Do you not feel that you are
I'm
severely
getting shelter from you.
at a
Give
loss
him some shelter then.
in guidance?
Share the umbrella with him.
You are not interested in finding out what Christ said who the true God is.
Christ said over and over and over again, even his own disciples were doubting,
Okay, but
like
what did Christ
you.
say? Did he claim to be God?
Like you,
Give us a reference.
they were doubting
Let's do an
that
experiment here.
if you are
Is
God,
there- are there
show
any other
yourself.
Christians here
He has
who
shown
know,
several
according
times.
to the Bible,
Several times he has shown
what did
himself.
Christ say who the only true God is? Without me giving you the reference.
This umbrella's breaking up, brother. It's windy, man.
They're going to be quiet now. Do you know why? Because they don't want you to know this.
No, no, it's alright.
In John with John. Do you know what? Have you read John?
Have you read John? Chapter 1, verse 1 and verse 14. Have you read
Shall I
it?
show you from my own Bible?
Have you read it?
Looks like you don't want to open up your Bible to learn about what Christ said.
All things are created by Him.
We use references
For
of
Him.
Even if you remember,
He is the only creator.
when we started to speak,
Jesus is the only
one of the
creator.
first chapters I used
Jesus is the only
was
creator.
John,
Not the Father.
First John,
Not Jesus.
the first chapter of John, verse
Jesus said,
1. Yeah?
Father and I are one.
Okay, but who created his mother?
So let's read what Christ
Word.
said about God.
No, but-
Right?
Word.
Okay,
And
but-
perhaps you can
created.
tell us.
Yeah, but, so
You can tell us.
Word is the creator.
Because you have your mind made up.
All
You can tell us
things
whether you agree or
are
disagree.
What I did say,
For Him.
what I did
Clearly
say
says. Bible
was, the
clearly
word
says.
says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I repeat, I mentioned that earlier. isn't
I
it?
asked you.
But I'm telling you, you're into constructive
He is just twisting the scripture.
You
He is
mentioned
the,
John.
He is the twister of
Now you're bringing.
scripture.
Now you want to reference John.
Come
Why
here.
not? No,
Have a look.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's not going to bite you. It's going to enlighten you.
Ah,
The Bible that you
he is
believe
the-
in,
He is enlightened. He is enlightened.
This is your Bible.
Just,
Shall I read?
What does 1 John 1 say? No. What
Read
does
it out loud.
The
What
book
does-
of John, first chapter, verse. What does it say?
Who is speaking?
What does it say? You
I
don't
will
know.
tell you.
No, what does it say?
It says NRK O Logos.
Mary have a mother and a father.
Yes.
Do you know what it means?
Mary's parents have a
Maybe I'm butchering
Yes.
Greek. Read it. I just read it to you in Greek.
No, we're English. Just read it.
Oh, you're English.
Mary's
So now,
parents and
in John 1:1,
Can you see a Greek
who is
person
speaking?
here?
Is Jesus speaking? Is that in red letter?
Can you see a Greek person here?
Is that in
Just
red
read
letter?
the thing, man.
Come closer, my friend.
Yeah.
Why are you so afraid to have a discussion?
Yeah.
So
Creator.
in John 17:3, Jesus identified who the only true God is.
Yes.
You knew that. You knew that. Tell us, who is the only true God? According to Jesus?
I'm reading.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Read.
I'm so afraid. It is not him.
Is it the Father? Is it the Father?
It is not Jesus the Son.
Is it the Father?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We didn't know that. Get to your point. What are you making?
So is Jesus the only true God?
He's rambling so much.
So my friend,
He's rambling so much.
is Jesus the only true God?
Get to the point. You're making. What's your
Is
name
Jesus
again?
the only true God?
Mansoor. Yeah, go on.
Is Jesus the only true God according to Jesus?
You can only come to God through Him. That's why
You know what?
like I said.
I will stand in the day of judgment a witness against you. Where I shared with you from your own Bible, where Jesus identified that Jesus was not true God. It was His God that He said was the only true God.
Give us a
And
scripture.
yet,
Give us a
you
scripture.
persisted
Give us a scripture
on
for it.
believing in Jesus and
Give us a
worshiping
scripture
Him.
for it.
There's no point continuing discussion like that. Because in the day of judgment, we will be a witness against you.
Islam the hook. God is the burning bush. Listen carefully, no? Listen.
Well done, brother. You kept it at that place. You threw him out.
No. The Creator knows heaven and earth.
What do you want to hear with the Father?
Listen carefully. You are not listening. You are not listening.
Have you read the Quran?
You are
It
not
will clarify
listening.
all these misconceptions and doubts that you have.
You are saying
The Quran will guide you to what is true.
You have
The Quran will free you from the shackles of worshipping a creation. It will enlighten your heart and your mind and your soul, and you will worship none but God. And you will be free from worshipping the creation, from worshipping a messenger, from worshipping a prophet, from worshipping an angel. You will be worshipping none but God, the God of Christ, the God of Moses, the God of Muhammad, peace be upon them all. That is what Islam will help you with, my friend. We invite you to Islam. Come to Islam wholeheartedly and worship none but the God of this universe. And read the Quran and believe in it. It will help you to live your life in such a way so that God's mercy will be on you so that you will be in paradise in the hereafter.
Everybody stay away from Islam.
So where does the Quran say the sun sets?
You are not listening to the answer.
So this Quran, that's so wonderful. Where does it say the sun sets? So you don't want to answer, do you? So the Quran is worth reading, is
You are
it?
not listening to the answer. You are not listening to the answer.
Brother, you're shouting a bit.
Listen carefully. When the creator of heaven and earth is in the burning bush, is he a creator still? Even though he is in a burning bush? If that creator is in a womb of Mary, is he a still creator? So, that creator, whether he is up in heaven or he is on earth, he is still almighty. So nothing can make him lesser than almighty. That is my God. That is my God. Maybe Allah is unable to come on earth.
Who's Allah?
Idol. Idol.
Who is Allah?
Idol of Makkah.
Allah.
Idol of Makkah.
Allah is Baal. Baal.
Did your daughter really become a Muslim?
Allah is Baal. Baal in the Bible. That's who Allah is.
Did you send your daughter
Allah
for
is Baal.
Muta?
Allah is Baal. Baal in the Bible.
Huh? It's the boss. Yes.
Baal.
That's right. That's right. According to Quran, Allah had 3 daughters. Yeah? Allah had 3 daughters. Lat, Manat and Uzat. 3 daughters. If that Allah has 3 daughters and Allah is unable to come to earth and associate with his creation, then Allah is nothing more than a stone, idol. Because Allah is not a spirit according to Quran and according to Hadith.
Yeah.
Allah is not spirit. If Allah is not spirit, Allah has no power.
He's a stone.
It's a stone. Simply.
No, he could be a cube. Because remember, they bow towards the cube, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So he could be the cube.
And who was the first idol inside the cube?
Well,
It's Baal. He was the first one. That's in the worship. And all the other idols came inside after. He was the first one. And the Kaaba was built for him. The Baal. So they worship Baal. And they class Allah as Baal.
Baal.
No,
Yes,
because
that's it.
in Isaiah,
That's right.
God said he
That's
speaks
right.
his people in another tongue. No, another tongue. It doesn't specify the tongue.
Wait, do you guys understand the song?
You need to come to Jesus, bro.
No, God says he speaks to his people in another tongue. He didn't specify the tongue, so it can be any language.
Thank you.
Which language is that?
No, it can be any language. Because God said another tongue.
Sorry,
You need to come to Jesus.
I have to.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm Muslim.
No, he's Muslim. No, they always say that, but remember...
Why
do you always talk
I've
about
got
Jesus?
Jesus already.
No, but he's wrong, because in the
I call it
Quran
Jesus
it says
already.
Isa.
Yeah, that's right. You mustn't say Jesus. You must say Isa.
Yeah,
No, it's the same thing.
because Jesus
You know
is
it's not the
a
same
word.
thing.
Yeah.
Jesus is
You
not a word
mustn't
used.
say Jesus. That's what I said to you. Are you a Christian? You mustn't say Jesus. Say Isa. Then we can understand who Isa
Okay,
is.
Isa, okay.
Yeah.
Isa is some imaginary person.
Well,
you know.
what makes you think
That's what it is. But you mustn't say Jesus.
Why?
Jesus is historical.
So why
it's historical. You
Okay.
mustn't say Jesus. As a
No,
Muslim, you mustn't say Jesus.
Yeah, but okay.
Tell me, the word Jesus, is it in the Quran?
The word Jesus, no.
Oh. So why do you say it then?
No.
And what's in the Quran?
Hold on. Can I just talk?
No, let me finish first. Oh, go on,
but
carry
you
on.
just
Go on,
wanna
go on.
talk-
Oh, go on,
talk-
talk. Oh, go on, talk.
Isn't it a bit hypocritical? So what's the word?
I can't hear you because you're your master.
No, what I'm saying is do you use the word Jesus as well, innit?
Do I use the word Jesus as well?
Yeah.
What's it as well?
Yeah, because that's a transliteration.
Yeah.
It's a transliteration.
Yeshua is his name, is his Hebrew name.
A lot of Christians
Yeshua.
use Jesus loves you.
Jesus
No,
is the
no,
translation word because we can't get the exact all the sort of like letters. You see, they haven't got the J, etc. I can't go into the linguistic
Yeah, I know
side
the
of
J
it.
word didn't exist.
I can't go into the
2000 years
linguistic side of it, but Jesus is what the English say, yeah? But we're referring to Yeshua within the Bible. But
there's
Issa,
yeah.
right? Where does that come from? Issa.
No, hold on, let me just... So, you said Yeshua. How do you know Yeshua is Isa?
How do I know Yeshua is Issa?
Yeah.
How do I know?
Yeah.
That's a question you need to answer.
No,
I don't believe in Issa. I don't know who Issa is.
So who is Yeshua?
Yeshua is the one who died on the cross. He rose again, third day. He's ascended into
But
heaven.
the Bible doesn't mention the name Yeshua.
What do you mean the Bible doesn't mention the name?
I didn't see anywhere Yeshua in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said to you
Yeah,
about the
where is it
translation
about-
of the name.
Yeah, but can you show me where Yeshua mentioned in the New Testament?
You don't understand my point, do you?
Yeah, but you
John
said
Murray.
you believe Yeshua. Well, who's Yeshua and where can I find it in the Bible?
The name has been translated
Into what? Greek?
into Greek, yes.
Okay, so what's the
And
name?
then into Greek, into Latin.
Then
Yeah.
the,
And all that translation leads you to Jesus. So
you don't have Yeshua
what's
in
your
the,
point?
so you're saying you don't have Yeshua in the New Testament? The name Yeshua, I'm saying, as you claim that.
How many more times I tell you, it's not there in Yeshua.
Okay, then so why do you believe that?
It's
Then why do you
Jesus.
believe-
It's translated from there into English.
Okay, but it doesn't make sense.
No,
Now
what it basically is that the meaning of his name is God saves, or God is salvation. That's the meaning
if
of the
it's not in
name.
the Bible, why do you use it? As your, yeah, the
I
name
don't think
Yeshua.
I don't think you're following the train of
No, you
our
said, I know, you said
conversation.
Yeshua, you translate it to Jesus. And,
All right, so why do you call listen to it, why do you call him Jesus then? If you say that we shouldn't call him, I don't say shouldn't, but you're questioning why we call him
No, we know
Jesus.
his original name is Isa.
You're questioning why we call him Jesus, but then they call him the same thing.
We don't.
You know,
No, we
you know.
don't. No, not in
Exactly
the
my
Quran.
point. So
No,
why
no.
do you keep saying Jesus?
No,
And you questioning
You're
us for
talking to
saying
Christians.
Jesus?
No, because remember, you're using the Jesus as well. So we're saying the
so why are
real
you
Jesus.
copying us then?
No, we're not. We're saying the real
Why are you
Jesus
copying
is Isa.
Jesus?
So you lot gotta. You can't even find the real name of Isa. You're saying it's Yeshua, but he was translated.
Who can't
real
find the name of Isa?
Isa alayhi salam is the real name, but you're.
What's that
the Bible doesn't
translated
even mention
to
the
in
real
Hebrew?
name.
Isa.
No, I'm saying you don't have the real name in the New Testament. You're Jesus, as you
What do you
claim.
mean? We have it. I just explained it to you.
No, you say Yeshua, but you don't have it in the Bible. In the New
I've just
Testament.
explained it to you.
Where in the New Testament? You haven't shown me.
What do I haven't shown you? I haven't physically shown you because you can't physically show you.
But you said it's not
linguistic.
there. Remember, you
The
said,
translation.
Yeah, but you said it's not there. Yeshua, the name.
Right. Right. That's correct.
Okay, so what?
Right. And do you know anything about translation?
Translation, yeah.
Yeah.
So
What do you know about translation?
No, forget translation. I want the
Forget
original.
about translation.
No, I want the original name, bro. Like
The original
translation.
name is Yeshua. That's
Yeah,
his
but you
name.
don't have it in the New Testament, so what are you going by? No, unless you want it. Okay, yeah, I'm not filming. Yeah, can you not film me as well? No, it's okay, I'm not filming, Habibi. No.
So tell me, Issa,
So you
where did you get the name Issa from?
You don't have no argument.
What do you mean? I don't go.
But remember, you have no legs to
Jesus. Exactly. Long space of time. So if that's happening, we come along. Many people theorize so even not mental, then we develop and here we are theorizing religious connection with God, but God suddenly detaches from it seems like a natural process. Probably going up. Right. So where does God exist, I guess, is what you're saying, all the species that came from it. Was that his plan? So he would have guided God is just God. Very Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah.
It's strange, you know. He still don't. He's still saying, "Oh, Jesus, Yeshua is not in the Bible."
Yeah.
But how can you explain that to him?
As far as I'm
That's it,
aware,
it's part of the translation.
Yeah.
it's like
Unless you can, unless I can go into the actual, a linguist who can sort of like, you know, put everything together in the translation. And J, it's about the J not being used, etc. It's first was put into Greek, and then from Greek into Latin, etc. So therefore, you know, I can't go through those steps for you.
Yeah.
For him. So therefore, he's still not inside the Bible. Right. Still not inside the Bible.
I agree.
You said something like that. It's easily sounded like that, but when it's written, you don't go to write it, you see?
Yeah.
You see? You can say Yeshua. When it comes to writing all the way of the word, it can be written in English.
Yeah.
You mean a cognitive, like a self-awareness? Where is it missing? Why did it go missing? Are you having problems there?
No, it's because the wind's blowing this way.
Yeah, you turn. Yeah, that's it. Turn that way. Yeah. Yeah, you see, but how can you? I mean, you can't really say anything to someone like that. But Yeshua's not in the Bible. I just said to him, it's there.
show like a Trinitarian theology.
Jesus is there, but therefore it's a translation of the word. It's the English word. It's just like actually what can I put it? If you look at languages itself, right, you can never get the true translation of a language into the 100%. You cannot. It's just like in one language, it could mean different things. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you translate it, what they choose is that one popular thing. Alright, let me give you an example. Say like you've got the shoes there, right? Those shoes could be called, you can call that trainers. Trainers, you can call it, your footwear could be called sneakers, it could be called shoes, it could be called, but it's all relating to the footwear, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's all different words for a footwear.
Yeah.
So what they do, they choose the most popular word from the footwear, yeah, and then they try and put that over to another language, so they can understand what they're referring to in this footwear collection, in this footwear collection. But then again, someone within this footwear collection say, well, sneakers we call it, but no, you call it, I call it a different one, I call it a different one, you see? So trying to get that word across is really difficult. But I use the most popular word, which is sneakers. Like Jesus, that's how we would pronounce it, because we can't put the J, Yeshua and all that, you know, how it's translated. I can't go into the linguistic side of things. It doesn't refer, it cannot be written in English. Because they have their own alphabetical, I don't know, jargon, how they put it all together, the wording and all that. But we don't put our words together the same way as theirs, you see? So therefore we can't write it the same way. So we have to leave out something and put something else. So I wish I had a linguist, someone who could explain it better than me. I can't, you know? It's just like, you know when they say in the Old Testament, the Jews say Lord for Yahweh. They say Lord, they say Adonai, they say Hashem, they say all different words, yeah? Just like they say all different sneakers, all different footwear. But it's relating to Yahweh. Yeah? It's related to Yahweh, but there's all different type of sneakers that they could sort of like footwear that they could use, different names of different footwear. So they use sort of like, the most popular one is what? To Yahweh. Which is the most popular one? We use Lord, don't we, in the Old Testament. And the Jews use, I think that's the most popular one, I think. Is it? Lord, is it? In the Hebrew? Is it?
Everyone knows your
or is it Hashem? Is it Hashem? No, Hashem, isn't it? Hashem?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think it could be Hashem, or Lord Hashem, or they use Adonai a lot. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, that's right.
So anyway,
I think Adonai is when it's Lord, not in all capitals.
Is it?
Because you've got Lord, which is all capitals.
Yeah, but it's referring to Yahweh. That's basically what I'm trying to get at, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's what I'm trying to get at. No one does it Yahweh.
Yeah.
You agree that
So it's not just us. Be a divine translation. It's not just us where we're not. Who's he arguing with now? Oh, this Christian brother. Who's he arguing with?
Everyone knows what a Futsio does. Empty bread. Empty bread.
Why you come down and start shouting?
That one, guys.
Let's just say that 100 years ago,
Where you going?
we had no idea. We're in a very unique time. We're finding things that we know about another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Other species, no one
Come suck in my ass.
We've always believed we were
All the way here in the rain just to shower. No, it's come all the way here just to shower. It's because it's the only place to shower, that's why it's to come down.
It talks about different places, God's creation.
What you want?
This is the same throughout. The differences are biological structure. And we're able to interact. We're able to know that we know that we're living.
Doesn't leave me alone, bro. He keeps saying it. Sleep tight.
And there's no reference to these people. Or maybe
I'm rough.
No, we don't want to my
What happened? What was you? I want police here now.
In the sense of that it never happened to any other
to the other movement.
It's insane that you have.
That's a religion of peace.
I just thought I'd put those.
I don't know if you know about the first ever idol that was put inside the car.
Well, it's something
They say
mean from Abraham's time.
No, from Islam. From basically the pagans, just before Islam at that time, creation of that time. But I was listening to this sermon. What they're saying is that Baal, was it who Baal? You know who Baal? In the Bible. Because he was the first one to put, and it's built for him. Yeah. And there's a lot of Islamic sources that the first to that. And after, because the pagans, they were still, Allah is just the name God.
It's just God.
Yeah, the name God.
Yeah.
But who is that God? And that God is bad. You see? And that's why they're trying to use that interchangeably, but they're trying to deceive people, like don't use it.
Yeah.
They use Allah.
Yeah.
So, I was listening to it, it's very, very powerful, you know, and it gives you all the actual, even the Islamic sources are saying.
The true reality is.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Obviously, you know, if you bring that somewhere and preach all that down there, they'll go nuts, man. Seriously. And they're prominent Islamic sort of scholars. Going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think any psychologist or a dream I could agree with it. We say that there's a force.
Okay.
So that guy, so was he, you know when you came, did you come while he was already talking to Mansour?
Which guys? No, it's those two guys were talking. Another guy was talking to that guy.
Yeah.
And then I came in. I just started to listen. And I wasn't participating. I just listening.
Yeah.
And a bit. And then Mansour came, and he kind of like barges in.
Yeah.
And then he took off. And then I go, hey, we're just talking. We're just having a peaceful,
Yeah.
And then he all kicked off. Right?
Yeah.
I
think it's just probably just because they're desperate. But it's interesting.
Desperate for
no, because what I've noticed is that when you look on the Dawa channels, they seem to be The thing I've noticed is that you might as well say Hashim has disappeared. I've noticed the last time I've seen him in any of their recordings, and then Mansour might appear occasionally, but like he's mostly just talking to women. So you don't really see him like actually having proper serious conversations. They just look for like tame people to talk to. So I'm surprised Mansour, well, I presume he came over to you guys just because they were just obviously they don't want hit, so they're desperate. So they probably said to him like, you know, reasonable, video we can put out, so he had to come over and disturb.
To try and stop.
Yeah. And see what's going off. I said, where's the sunset? See how he didn't even engage him.
Which bit was that?
No, I said to Mansour, when he turned to go, I said, he says come to the Quran and read it. So I said, but the Quran says with the sun sets, he just ignored me. So what's the point of telling us to read the Quran? You mentioned something from the Quran, he runs off. So does that mean
exactly, yeah. And towards the end, I said to him, stay away from Islam. but no, then they're going to cut that out. You watch. Let's see if they've filmed.
Oh no, they weren't recording it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the fact that no, for some reason, it's like, I don't know if they're having some sort of disagreement, right? When you look, it's like Hashim, they're just not recording him anymore. Now, I've seen them when he's been talking to someone, there's a camera there. Go to the Dawa channels, and the recording, I haven't seen any of them. Hashim won't go up.
I mean, yeah, also I think a lot of it to do as well with the time of the season that we're in as well. Maybe a lot of it to do with the season that we're in, miserable and the weather and all that kind of stuff.
But I've seen them recording. But then all those recordings, they don't go up.
They're not going up.
Yeah.
Because Hashim probably they're not trying to win the argument. They're not winning the argument, right? Islam will only put up what they've won.
Yeah, I know.
They're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? They'll only put up what they seem to be winning, although they haven't won completely. But as long as they're ahead, they will put up. If they're not ahead or if they're equal, they won't even bother.
Yeah, well, because that's why they picked on Chris today, isn't it?
Yeah.
He must be over there.
Yeah, they won't even bother. No, sir.
Why are you wishing to wait men?
Why you come to the I'm always playing with him. Yeah, you know, it's full in the apartment. They need to turn away from this idol, man. They need to turn away, man. To actually, you know, there's thousands are leaving Islam. You know, a lot of those Afghans, right? I've been hearing over the news. A lot of those Afghans that come from their own scholars, you know, that left Afghanistan. They were airlifted and whatever over to England, America, and also, right?
Yeah.
Now the ones in America, right? Some of them, and some of the Islamic sources are saying they were on TV saying there's hundreds and thousands of them, hundreds, whatever. They're just leaving Islam. We're having a serious problem here. I was listening to him. We have a serious problem here. A lot of them, they're just leaving Islam. They're not coming to the mosque. They're leaving Islam.
Yeah, but they, because if they're running from the Taliban, that means they obviously don't want that kind of Islam. So they, but see, that's the thing. There's always going to be plenty of people who say they're Muslims, but they're not going to be doing all the stuff though. So they're probably missing some prayers, not doing all the wudu properly, and Ramadan they're not bothering the whole 30 days. But they'll still say they're Muslims.
Okay, yeah.
So there's loads of people who are like that. And because I mean, it's even like when you think about about they're saying about how many millions of Muslims are there are. And you know you've got the Friday prayers. But you see, if you think about it, the mosques can't hold every Muslim anyway for Friday prayers.
Yeah, that's true.
So that shows you that a whole heap of them are not going to.
Yeah.
And but you see, the problem is that.
But do they have their own? There's other places they can go.
No, but you see, Friday prayers is supposed to be at the mosque. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to. I can't remember how many times you have to go into the mosque for. But, you see, the thing about it is obviously at the time of Muhammad, they could do that because there's not many of them. So you got a few mosques around, and you got extra, maybe 1,000 odd people. So they'll be able to fit into the mosque that you have. But so you can tell that Islam was not. When they came up with the rituals, they never designed it for scale. So just like how it is with the Kaaba, if you go by the numbers that they've got now. Every Muslim, actually, I think it's like only 1/10 of Muslims. I think they're saying you might be able to get them to do their Hajj. So, and this, because simply when you go by the amount of Muslims there are, and the amount who are being born, it doesn't. The amount of people you can get into Mecca. And the fact that you can only do the Hajj, I think it's over 10 days. So it's like 10 days in July, I think it is. Those are the only days you can do Hajj. Yeah, so the rest of the year you can't do it. So because of that, you can't actually...
But not only that, they say that within their religion, you must sort of, to do the Hajj, they say that it's honourable for you to do at least once in your lifetime.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. Whether it's true, at least once. So, no matter all the hundreds and thousands of Muslims, so at least they can do it once. You know what I'm saying? Some people do.
No, that's the problem. Because you see.
Or is it a yearly thing that they have to do?
No, it's once. But you see, the thing about it is, because it's only because you've only got certain days you can do it.
The amount that's crammed into that certain amount of days is too much.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you add that up, even if you only do it once in your lifetime, if you take all the number of Muslims, so I think the number. I remember the guy at Sneakers Corner, he did the calculation roughly. And because, see, okay, let's say you've got, they say there's 2 billion Muslims, but that obviously includes children and babies. So let's say 500 million. And you can only, they're saying you can only...
Roughly about half of them could fit in there.
No, it's worse than that.
Because the babies wouldn't go, would it? The babies wouldn't go under that. So that counts in. So the adults ones, say around teens can go maybe, or whatever. So the elderly, too elderly wouldn't go. So it narrows down how many can go there.
No, but see what the real problem is to do with so you might think, once in a lifetime you can do it. But remember, look how many Muslims are born and how many die each year. So if you take the numbers so this is the problem, the number that are born who become Muslims each year will way outstrip the amount you can have in 1 year. So you'll never be able to get, as the years go by, you'll never be able to get all of them down to Mecca in the Hajj. And so because of that, that's the other way you can know that Islam isn't from God. Because God would know that you'd never be able to get everyone to Hajj, so He wouldn't make you do such a stupid ritual.
So it's a silly, you can say it's a silly kind of like law or rule, ruling or law or it's part of their what is it? It's part of their...
Yeah, but you can tell it was a man that came up with that.
We know it's a man-made thing. It's part of their Sharia, that's it. It's part of their Sharia.
Yeah, so because they... Obviously, when a man is there making something like this up, if you're just there with like 1,000 followers, you think, yeah, we could use it, yeah, and so you put it in the rule. But obviously, God knows how things are going to expand. So he's not going to give you something stupid like that where you know you can't scale. Because obviously you've got a country like Saudi Arabia, and the problem is, all those millions of people you're supposed to be trying to get through the hand. The problem is, they might have got to come by foot, by horse, by donkey, by plane, train, car, boat. So those are the options. And all of those options, the thing is, all the options are slow. You might think, oh, plane's really fast. The flight is quick. Now you land at the airport, and now what do you stand in? So in that way, car is slow. It's quick. You just get straight there. You don't have to stand in for a few months to land. So no matter how you try to travel to Mecca, it's always slow.
They're flying carpet, isn't it? They should get the flying carpet already prepared, isn't it?
No, they need the flying donkey, isn't it? The
Baraka, yeah. Well, and the carpet. The carpet can take more though, isn't it? Because it carried soldiers on it, remember? It carried soldiers on it as well. Yeah. You haven't read it? It carried soldiers on it as well. Small army.
Right.
And then loads of people can get on it then. And then they drop them off at But you know what they said that Mecca's the Kaaba, there's not just one Kaaba. There's quite a few so people can attend it.
Oh no, that's not the Kaaba. That's the pole that you throw the stone. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
There used to be one.
Yeah.
But there used to be one small one. Then they had to make it bigger. And then now there's three of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the classic thing about that is that I remember saying to some Muslim about how
some people get injured, you know that?
Because the stones.
People wear the back, right? And they miss something, they hit the people back of the head.
Yeah, but that's why they make it big. That's why they've what do they do? They made it bigger. Yeah, that's right. Because it's when the stones got over. When it's small, the stones have got over and hit the other people on the other side.
Some people haven't got the strength to pitch it as far as, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but it's true, isn't it? Some people haven't got the, I don't know, an elderly person, I don't know how old, but some people just haven't got the strength to throw it as far as others, you know?
Yeah. But the thing about it is that change that they made, they always have to say that it was Allah that approved it.
Yeah.
So that means someone's a prophet, isn't it? Who actually approved the...
Yeah, who actually approved that?
Yeah.
So there's still the one car, but what's it called? That thing that they got thrown stones on? What's it called? Anyway, but there's three of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Actual diamond. How are you going to be able to tell the difference which one is diamond?
And also I've heard that at times Mecca gets flooded with sometimes water.
No, I think they sorted that out now. It used to happen back in like the 50s up to the 70s.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but I think they fixed it.
Well, they're all kind of like sewage and all kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I heard, but they fixed it, yeah?
Yeah, I think they sorted. Well, I mean, the amount of money they got, but yeah, back in the 50s when they started because you know, when they, have you seen the way they go between Safa and Marwa, the big walkway? Yeah, that was only built in the 50s. So it wasn't there before.
Because this is how old it is, like, it's so it doesn't really surprise me.
And deny it as soon as. I would say this is a phone, and I would say this is not. How are you going to listen?
Anyway, I'm going to...
Hold on to my value. If somebody's going to choose to do something and straight away give up their value.
Anyway,
alright,
hold on to it. They don't know what is value. They don't know what comes to as value. So they can pretend all they want, they only expose themselves. How do you know the only religion which still has the good in them? Because the other religions, they could continue following one prophet after the other. So we can use as the real diamond and the fake diamond to compare the good and the bad. Allah, where is the to know the Creator? Even those who say, oh, that is his prophet, they will be touched. Okay. No, he's already.
To learn something.
You don't debate any atheist. No, listen. You don't debate anybody. You always free your business.
What does that mean? Is he saying he's descendant of the Prophet?
You're a Greek guy. You know yourself what your father did. If you choose that life, it's your choice. What are you talking about? When he says you know you can
These are what I would call leech. They feed off. When someone else is making sense, they try to leech off my crowd, my people. But on the bench.
I don't know what.
You talk about your religion, I talk about my religion. I talk about my religion, you talk about your religion. Why are you going to come and stick your hand in my ass every time? At one time or another, there is no other way. There is no other way. People don't want to see reason. They want to see logic. They don't want to accept when they're wrong. Everyone is going to get to know you. What's going on? What? Yeah, I haven't seen shit, man. I haven't seen shit.
Where's my hot drink? Where's my hot drink? Where's my hot drink? Where's my hot drink?
Well, it's not a heart. Everybody was thinking it was almost Valentine's Day.
Hazel, you're slipping. Where's my hot drink? Oh, sorry. I thought you were nice. Don't squeeze your balls.
Oh, people. Meeting and we go all to aid, all residents in the hotel, all the food. Who pays that? This. Oh, President Day. Still on? Yeah, Cressida did.
And now she's gone.
I think you know this, so they would have put in her place. Well, they're all bad. To counter-terrorism guys. There you are, Cressida ditched. Okay, good reason. Cressida ditched. Yes, I think what to say about Cressida going is good riddance, and that interestingly they listed a list of reasons why she should go. That means they're going to have to adhere to those reasons, and of course we're going to watch that closely. Any new commissioner must correct all the wrongs she's found. Right. And there's a lot of them, and they're important. And the second thing is, there's one thing they did not list, namely the two-tier policing imposed by her on behalf of that traitor Sadiq Khan. The two-tier policing whereby those of us who are marching against the COVID con would get arrested. I've been arrested 15 times, and Extinction Rebellion and lots of, well, people with weird ideas working on behalf of the New World Order were going scot-free most of the time. We've got to end this double policing and, two-level policing, and fight actually for accountable policing. I think the Commissioner for London should be an elected position, not something appointed by the government and the GL, Local London Authority, in a cosy chat to oppress us. So what would I say on them? Accountability now!
Accountability now!
Accountability
now!
Accountability now! Quiet. Anyone want a bundle of leaflets?
I've got some already.
Well, you shouldn't have them, they should be on the street.
No, I'm
giving them out.
No, that day, remember,
Yeah, I
I was
do.
so tired, I've done so much.
No, you do it
I
well.
do appreciate everything you do, but I'm never out, you know, I'm like bedridden, and I watch, and I don't watch all the videos.
Get someone to help you. Anybody got any money? Yeah, sure.
I would like.
Donation for hot drink.
Oh, do you want it? Climate. I understand, just be careful when you do it. I mean, well, I think I'm not going to try that. Maybe then someone will. We need to get contact. We jab them.
Somebody's elected in the area, and if they don't do it, they do what they say. They're not doing stuff about saying. If they don't do it, then they lose it.
No, look, if you got the facts like that, you can report them to the police. You know how to contact me? Not my number.
Well, February.
And there's someone else in hospital, they're killing us right now.
Alright, we don't have your details.
I do now.
If it's here, then it is. I think we have.
By my sister, the dangerous.
I remember that.
Gina said she did.
07812.
Yeah, 450.
455. Is that you? There you are. Nicola Vax. If that's not done, it means I've got to find out.
I know the whole system.
Talk to her, we will help. Yeah, so take some of those plastic.
No, I'm worried about the fire alarm thing. It's still raining.
How did they start?
Yeah, they're kicking forward.
The things you can between.
Wait up down.
You're under the company Owl UK. I've got to speak to someone Leslie tomorrow. I said I don't want it. I've been telling them since last summer.
No, I
I
don't
don't want it.
mind.
Doing something I don't want.
See ya. See ya, hiker. See ya. Sorry I missed your speech.
Oh my hand with a break.
Leave me alone, you fucking dickhead! Bro, stay the fuck away from me! How fucking hard is that? How the fuck you gonna come up to me every time? My argument. How the fuck are these people so unfit? You're not fucking anything. So One more! 2 minutes. Look at these cowards! Look at these cowards! Look at these cowards! Oh, you're a coward! You're a coward! You're a coward! Record these waste man! Record these waste man! I'm not a coward! I'm not. He's talking to me. All the time attacking. They are a bunch of cowards who cannot face truth. Yeah? They want to attack the Lord. Like, they want to hit the Lord. Bravo! This guy, I'm not talk sense. He can't talk sense, so he wants to fight me. There you go. You're the one that's the facing other man. It's no point, guys. Look, when a hypocrite, when a dickhead, that you're not talking to, like somebody thinks it's all about them. Yo. What made them about him? What made? How do you think I was talking to you? What made you think I was talking to you? I'm just saying. This guy is standing over there. I have nothing to say to this guy. How does it make it about him? Who told you I was talking to you? Listen, who told you I was talking to you? Who told you I was talking to you? Where did you come out from? Where did you come out from? What the fuck made you think I was talking to you? What the fuck made you think I was talking to you? Who the fuck are you? You ain't shit. You ain't shit for me to talk to you.
Chapter number 2
So
is
stay the
verse
fuck away from me.
It says that here of Israel, listen to this, Jesus of
Who the
Nazareth,
fuck
a
do you
man
think you are?
of
Do you think
peace
I was talking to you? Go on, what was you saying? What was you saying? Where are you pointing at?
Right. So
where are you pointing at? What? What's that? What's that? Come on! Come on! What happened? What happened? See, he said he's not a coward. Come on, say on camera. If you are not a coward, say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say. Go on. You're not a coward, yeah? Come on, prove it. Prove it. You're not a coward.
How can you say your sins forgiven? How can you say demons come out? How can you give
Told you.
This is the key question. So,
tough guy.
Everything that Jesus performed, miracles, is by God, by the Father.
They can't talk sense, all they can do is
It's
stand
mentioned in
up
the Gospel of Luke that I cast out devils by the Spirit of God. He didn't say, he did not say that I cast out devils by myself. No, he performs miracles by
They
God.
could be me now. They say leave me alone. They can't leave me alone. Now they say leave me alone.
Perform
What happened?
by God's lead.
What happened?
And Jesus
What
Christ
happened to your
also says
logic?
in the Gospel of
What
John chapter 5
happened?
verse 30 that I can of my own self do nothing.
Everything is about you.
As I hear a judge and my judgment is just.
Find it out, then you know nothing's about you.
So even the miracles that Jesus performed, he cannot perform these miracles unless by the Father's permission. It proves to you that Jesus cannot be God. Why does God need to be giving the Father?
I think like the John 5 thing is more saying
Continue your pretend.
Jesus is
Go
not
on,
possible
make
for
your
him
friend.
to do something
Make your friend.
contrary to the
Coward.
Father's will. Because
that's what we believe.
Coward! Coward! Why are you sucking up to me? Why you always want to talk to me? Bro, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Why do you have to suck up to me? I don't want to be your friend. How hard is that to understand? How hard is that to understand? I don't want to be your friend. Why are you always around me? Why are you always around me?
I think it's fair enough.
Why are you always around me? Why don't you go somewhere else? Why don't you go and suck somebody else's ass?
He doesn't represent Islam, by the way.
Why do you always come and suck my ass?
Guys, don't worry. Like
Bunch of hypocrites.
we have our own problems in the
How come when I'm trying to speak to somebody, how come you get these guys coming and chatting shit? Bro, go chat to somebody who wants to listen to you. When people are coming to me for asking me for knowledge, why do you have to be there? Why do you want to be around me so badly? Answer the question. Why do you want to be around me so badly? Why do you want to beg and help me so badly? I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend. Who has to tell you? Your mom told you, your sister told you. Why can't you leave me alone? Why are you sucking up to me? Why are you still here? Why do you follow me around? Why do you have to come in? When I told you come and go to Slinker's Corner, you were too shook. You were too shook. But when I start coming here, then you start coming here and hating on me, against me. What did I ever do to you? What did I ever do to you? Go on, answer one single question. Why do you have to go everywhere I go? Why is it everywhere I go, I see you? Why do you follow me around? Why do you follow me around? Huh? Why
Why are you so obsessed with me, some of you?
Very simple.
Why do you follow me everywhere I go?
Allah says, "Qul huwallahu ahad."
Why do you love me so much to have to talk about me all the time? Why do you keep talking about me all the time? Why? Have you got no one else there to talk about but than me? You only talk about me all the time.
In other words, God is eternal. He does not have a beginning or end. Because if God had parents,
Look, he's coming close again. As soon as I start speaking to somebody, these guys, these niggas come here. Oh, Wallahi, he's wasting our time. Because I have to go press. I'm already going to be late.
So the definition of God.
Stop following me around. Stop going everywhere I go. Stop going everywhere I go.
That's mentioned in the Quran. It coincides with the Old Testament.
This guy told me on road he tried scripting. Now he wants to fight. Now he wants to fight. He's not even speaking to the guy, and he comes and says, "Oh, come." Who was talking to you? Come there. Come there.
But even though they're telling you the rosary routine, they can throw things in your face, if you're out of Islam or be simple or whatever. Be kind in your rejection of those invitations. Also be kind to them and give them their rights as parents.
If you went to someone who were advising them because they were like, I don't know.
Years ago, she set an example which allows us to rise above what humans have always been doing. I never thought
No point getting up there with if he was seeing
If it was me and him, I could understand. But
yeah, I'm leaving the next 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, I'm leaving that way. Yeah, I'm leaving that way too.
I don't know if you wanted to like say goodbye to me or something.
No, I'll continue the conversation. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll have to pray, so I'll go to the back.
Sure, yeah.
Name's Josh.
Yeah.
And look at the trees, look at the green grass, look at all this stuff, God made it. And I go, really? No, but what I say is, because a lot of these religious groups they'll tell you that, don't be an idol worshipper, don't be an idol worshipper. And I can't make that mistake. Because if I need to perceive God and I can see God, yet I can see the trees, the sun, and the moon, then I go, look what God made. That means I look at things for God. I see what happens on my day.
Yeah, so he is one of them.
There's an element of respect and taking into consideration the reality situation and belief.
Yeah. That's beautiful. My last question, that is the one I do not know, is about worship and in terms of what that means in your
great question. So, generally speaking, abortion is forbidden, but there are caveats. One of the caveats are this: if there's going to be harm to the mother,
She is danger of life.
yes,
I see.
yes, then we have to preserve the existing long-term life of the mother over the child, and I believe it's the decision of the mother on this. It's not forced. But to say I've fallen pregnant, even if it's out of wedlock, to abort is not allowed. Because for us, it's the preservation of life which is incumbent.
What about if you find out that the kid's going to have like pain and misery the rest of his life? You have a choice.
You know, it's the preservation of life over the mother.
So there's nothing.
Right. So what we have is what's called Baitul Mal, the house, the treasury. It should be upon the government and society to provide the funds to allow that child who's going to have disabilities for caring, for medication, to care for that and to support the mother.
And what about a child that is simply unwanted? A child, to say, that will go into the adoption or in danger of abuse, emotionally or physically, even then abortion is not. Yeah.
So in relation to adoption, there's got to be a serious issue with the parents. Now, if they are known to abuse the child, physical, mental, and whatnot, then yes, of course, the state has to step in for that. And not only that, if that's the case, then the parents should be judged in relation to criminal law. And then adoption and caring for orphans is actually praised in the Quran in relation to that. So much so that if the parents were to pass away and that child inherits the wealth of the parent, then the guardian who looks after the child has to also not touch that wealth. Okay? And the name of the orphan, so the family name, should be preserved, because lineage has to be preserved. The person has to know where they come from.
Right.
The family name, you know, their ancestors. It shouldn't be cut off and lost. Because if that is, you know, then it's somewhat the person is lost in that sense. Then 2 points to your question. So one was abuse.
Abuse, and also in terms of just being unwanted, I think, was the other one. Just in terms of if you get pregnant and you know, say you just don't want a child, you're just not ready, you're not at an age even, if you, I mean, you can be 14, 17, whenever, or if you're 30, you're still not ready, even then it is a sin.
Is it not wanting the child so you can go and watch the football and go to the club?
But even then, even in terms
what is behind it?
I mean, if we...
Is there an element of selfishness from the mother or the father?
I don't know if it's selfishness. I think it is... Obviously, abortion, I think, is a thing that is done not... It's not a choice that you want to make.
Adoption.
Oh, I see.
Abortion. Adoption.
See.
The question was adoption.
Yeah.
So, if a mother were to have a child and then decide...
Go to adopt. Like,
I want to adopt.
Yeah.
Then that's why there's what we believe is family unit of marriage. Because you've committed with marriage, and prior to marriage, you discuss whether you want children or not. Then as a consequence, if we don't, then let the father deal with it. If you don't want children.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let the father deal with it. And then also family members can step in.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
I mean, there's cases, unfortunately, that the aunt or the grandparents or whatever steps in.
Yes.
If you could preserve that family unity, What are your thoughts?
On abortion in general and everything, I am someone I believe it is the choice. I believe obviously it's not a choice that anybody wants to make. It's not easy. I don't think it's something to go, oh yeah, I'll do this. I think it's, of course I understand the selfishness of making that decision, but I believe in the choice. I believe in, you have to wholeheartedly know whether, if you're not ready, putting the kid into the adoption process. Is that the right decision necessarily? No one knows. But I think if you do make that decision, I will always stand by.
It's a cliche counter argument. What about the choice of the child?
The child doesn't have a choice. The child is not there.
Well, if the child's living, and us as adults in society, we are guardians over the children and make choices on their behalf as well. We're capable of making those choices. And if it's deemed that our choices are detrimental to the child, then the adult, by default, them being an adult, they're held accountable for making wrong choices. So by saying the argument is choice, but by them saying then you're not getting a chance as a child, is that not contradictory?
I just think it's a case of there is no way to know what that, and in my mind it would not be a child yet until it's born. That obviously is detailed.
Is there then a limit on when the fetus could be aborted?
I mean, I think it's, the laws that were set recently in America in terms of like 6 weeks. I think that's absurd because most of the time you don't know you're pregnant until either 10 weeks or 12 weeks. I mean, because you don't know if you've missed your period, and realistically with those kind of things, like sometimes you can miss it for months, not think about it, 2 months, oh, maybe it's because I'm not eating well enough, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that limitation needs to be discussed much, much more with women, because we know that 6 weeks, you're never going to know. By that time, it's very, very unlikely that you'll know. I just think, you can't hear the thoughts of the child when you're as a child. It's a decision that has to be made by a woman, wholeheartedly. I truly, truly believe that.
So it's okay to abort because the child is not capable of voicing their opinion.
I mean, circumstances. It's all about if you got pregnant and you don't have the money, or you don't have, you're just 16.
Sorry, what's your name?
Amy Beck.
Amy Beck.
Yes.
My name's Idris. Are you going to shake my hand?
I know. I was like, am I sorry?
It's alright, Amy Beck.
Sorry.
Remember when I said that if there's something, it was actually about shaking hands. If there's something forbidden, we're not even meant to go close to it. There's that barrier. So if there's the opportunity of you possibly aborting because you don't have the funds or whatnot, you're not even having sexual intercourse in the first instance. Because the possibilities you could then, abort a life.
But I think there's also taking into consideration that you can, you can wear a you can get on board, you can do these things. But that doesn't mean that that's 100% the work, of course. But then instances of rape, instances of sexual assault and things not by your choice and then getting pregnant, that's also another thing to take into consideration in terms of...
So with rape, I mean, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So the woman falls pregnant out of no choice, which is a bad thing. But then you can abort a fetus and also not give them the choice, which is a bad thing, because choice has been taken away. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I disagree with you, just in terms of, the woman is going through that emotional heartache and the pain and the physical and emotional pain of what she's experienced. What is in her stomach is not. It doesn't know what is going on. I believe, I'm spiritual to an extent sense. I believe in souls. I believe in energy at least, like transferring or whatever. So I believe that is so much more forgivable in the eyes of God, in the eyes of humans, generally even, than having a woman not to a point. I think that's right.
I appreciate that. I feel like there's a level of consistency. Because obviously
That's fair, that is fair.
No,
Yeah.
obviously the child, I would presume, would experience the pain. From my understanding, understands their conscience. So the consciousness of the mother in relation to the fetus, at least in a particular moment of time onwards, they're a living being. And again, as the issue with the woman being raped and then becoming pregnant, feeling pregnant, and obviously the choice is taken out of her hand, again, with us aborting that fetus, we're doing the same. We're taking the choice away from the child. So they're unable to, to choose it whether or not. Sorry, there's no effect to the message. So you talked about rape, you talked about very fundamentally also, it's about being responsible for your actions. But say, symbol and contraception and whatnot, beware, there are repercussions to your actions. So please take that into consideration. If you are going to have sex, you may well fall pregnant, which will terminate your life. You believe in a death penalty?
And this is interesting, so I see what you're saying. I guess the difference for me is that it's just, I don't think it makes things equal. I don't think it evens out. I don't think if you murder people you should get the death penalty. I think it's a better punishment to be in prison, for the rest of your life. And I understand the anger that comes from it in your family. I don't think.
So that's interesting, because in Islam, if someone was murdered, initially it's on the family to choose whether to forgive, or if they're found guilty, have punishment to be given. Now this is the question. This is very interesting to me. The choice is given to the family, as the choice is given to the mother whether to abort or not. But the child doesn't have choice.
I understand what you're saying. I do. I guess our difference falls on technicality. I think our difference actually along the same lines here, but technicality is within you believing consciousness of that fetus, whereas I do not. That is where we differ.
Scientifically, that's a view.
Exactly.
Scientifically,
that's what's interesting.
So scientifically, I believe, from what I know, I'm sure you're doing, scientifically, the fetus then becomes basically alive.
Exactly. That is where we differ.
So are you, and you talk about 6-week term, are you of the understanding that, how long is the term? How long is it last? How many weeks is the term last? It's in the 30s, isn't it? It's 9 months.
It's 9 months,
Let's talk
so
months.
yeah.
So if scientifically by 3 months, 3.5 months, the fetus is alive.
Yeah.
Moving,
Heartbeat,
heartbeat,
sure.
beating. From your understanding, did you still abort then or prior?
See, I struggle with this one.
Yeah.
I think this is a choice I would give to the individual. I think it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. From my standpoint, I think obviously we also have to take into consideration the hormones. And when you do fall pregnant, the hormones kick in instantaneously. You have connection to whatever it is, abortion or not. You're going to feel the emotions. And you're going to feel the connection to this child or whatever. And I think that's a choice that needs to be made by the person who is pregnant. obviously, 6 months, that hits me a bit harder than 14 weeks or whatever. But again, I think there needs to be a barrier. I don't know where that will be. I certainly don't think it's 6 weeks. I certainly don't even think. I think it should be. That's a technicality that I need to think of, like, scientifically as well, and research more to know what that means.
I'm going to ask you a very few questions. What's the difference between aborting a fetus which is alive and harmless compared to aborting a toddler?
The difference is it being functioning in the society out of the womb and its own kind of sentient being now, and its own, like, it's experiencing the world, it's experiencing life and humans, and it's aware and it's seeing everything.
Do you believe in euthanasia?
Yeah, I do actually. I do. Yeah.
So if I had a child, God forbid, someone had a child who was severely disabled, wasn't able to contribute to society, didn't know you were actually caring.
Well, contribute in what way?
Interaction. Okay. Like just almost bonding time.
Right.
Didn't know you were actually there caring. Right. Did you know, suppose of that? Because what I'm saying is, the argument you gave for a toddler is they're their own sentient being. Obviously, this disabled child is, but as far as they're concerned, they don't know if they've come or gone. They don't even know you're their parent.
Well, can it?
Could you then?
Can they be cared for?
Could you? You know, I don't want the responsibility, and because what I'm trying to say is, obviously the fetus is within the mother, so I believe your argument of choice for the mother is because she's playing a huge part in terms of it's within her. Obviously doesn't negate the fact that the fetus, the heartbeat, is actually alive, it's a living being. And now if someone was to give birth, and the mother was to give birth, and the child was its own being, it didn't interact, it wasn't able to be, what's the word, solely independent for its needs, totally. It has such a mental disability also that it didn't even know you were the mother, unable to interact, like a really unfortunate, severe disability, whereby literally every decision was incumbent upon the mother to make on its behalf. Did the mother then in turn decide to end its life? Because it's in such a mummified state.
It's like a comatose.
Akin to the state of the fetus in the mother's womb.
Then it gets to the point of adoption or getting aid from state or caregivers, especially. I think that is where it changes.
Should that not be done with the mother for the mother not to give birth to the adoption?
That is the 9 months of emotional. Because you feel as though, I guess you're being, in a way, forced to bring up, like, create this being in you, knowing that you cannot look after it, knowing that you have to go to pain and miss out on, you know, things you may want to experience in your life or work, or, you know, you're throwing up every day and it's affecting you for 9 months. That's
Good point. So compared to bearing with it for 9 months to then preserve life, which could probably live up to 25 years and have kids and grandkids and the joys of life and the woes of life and all of that. Is that a sacrifice worth having? What I think is that the mother is fighting against her own natural instinct.
Yes.
And that bond through 9 months. She's fighting against her own natural instinct. So does that not show her fighting against her natural instinct is generally what she should be striving for? Because if a homosexual has a homosexual tendency, should they not go with their natural, which you perceive as their natural instinct, to fulfill the homosexual?
Those are two very different things.
And should they be selfish and say, no, I want to carry on my career, I want to negate the fact that I'm going to build this natural bond, whereby I may feel worse, or may decide to keep the child, but rather cut it now.
The difference is that with homosexual tendencies, if you say, if you're gay, that is pleasure, that is love, that is, experiencing life and heartbreak, everything in between, that is human nature to experience that. If you are pregnant and you do not want to, that is not pleasure, that is not, it's not natural, it doesn't feel like it is. I don't think it's necessary. Of course, being pregnant and having children, yes, it's natural, scientifically and humanly, whatever. If it doesn't feel natural to do that, if you are not ready, if you are not capable, emotionally, physically, in any way, then they're two different things. And then I don't think we should have to.
So, the homosexual act is because of pleasure, love. But then the person fell pregnant out of pleasure.
You don't want.
So the argument is, again, when you're doing something which is pleasurable, there are always consequences to it. So that's what we say. Be mindful of your actions, because there are always people. If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability, that you're in a situation that safeguards you first from it, or if you're going to delve into it, that it has an element of legitimacy and security, whereby if it happens, you're in a good place.
Yes, that's true. But also if it happens, mistakes are made. I also believe that there should be safeguarding for when shit hits the fan, when things go wrong, that you're protected to change your mind and to try and back.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's if I put a tweet up, I could take it back. It's only a tweet.
Exactly.
This is my life.
Exactly.
And the backtrack, and I'm not trying to belittle what you just said.
No, I don't feel like.
But you're too nice.
I just like these conversations. They're enjoyable.
But I'm just feeling the severity of the backtracking and whatnot. Who that's down for?
Me.
Cool. Any other questions? Because I think we've gone too far.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's
For me, choice for the mother, of course, but then we're getting the choice of the child as well. And it's about, if you're going to do something, bear in mind the repercussions around it. You try to safeguard yourself and be in a state whereby if the child hits the fan, that there are safeguards in place.
Thank you for explaining. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
And thank you for listening as well.
Absolutely welcome. Are you staying around or are you going?
I might head off because I'm bloody freezing.
You come back.
I would love to. I'd love to. What's your name again?
Idris.
Idris. Good to meet you.
All the
Amy.
best. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All the best. Turning to morality. What about abortion? She seems saying that the mother should have a choice. My argument is, well, doesn't the child also have the right? And she's talking about rape. And I go, okay, so the woman fell pregnant, obviously not choice. Forced upon her. Well, what about the child?
Yeah.
The
No, I
woman's
feel like it's
choosing to abort, and that choice is being forced upon the child. It's the same with the rape.
The fetus doesn't know much, it's just in the womb. So it's parental rights.
And then I goes, us as adults, we're putting in a set of guardianship over our children until they become whatever law. Yeah. And if we abuse that authority and that care, we can end up in prison or whatever. And I go, it's the same with, there's no difference with the child being alive inside you or the child being inside you. You still have a care of duty.
Okay.
Now, you're saying you can choose to abort because literally the child doesn't have a voice. Literally.
Say my body, my choice is inside my body.
Yeah. So if I was to kick the toddler over there and go to prison, what?
You go to prison.
Yeah, but just because the child doesn't literally have a voice, you can do what you want to.
Yeah. Was that her argument?
That was my argument.
Okay,
Well, her argument was her argument is just full choice.
Okay. Up until the point where it comes out of her
I
body.
asked her that. So they say after a period of time you've got the heartbeat or whatnot. She goes, that's difficult question, but fundamentally it comes down to choice.
Okay.
And then
What point? Until they're born?
Any point. And then
I think she could kill a child.
Yeah, and then
a child that's alive.
And then I asked her, what about death penalty?
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I don't believe in it.
Okay.
I goes, okay.
You believe you can kill
So,
a child, but you can't kill.
Steve killed John.
Yeah.
John no longer has a voice. Analogy. No longer has a voice.
Because he's dead.
But analogy. The fetus has no voice. Analogy. John has no voice. Can John's parents choose whether the murderer can be killed or not?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. The problem with
John's family is the mother.
Yeah.
John, who has no voice, the fetus.
Yeah.
If the mother can choose, then John's family can choose.
Yeah.
Do you understand that analogy?
But you're making a straw man argument, because that wasn't her argument. If you're saying that the argument is basically, while the fetus is in the body of the mother has rights over it. Up until the point where it's born, then it's a living human being. You know, umbilical cord, it's come out the uterus, the umbilical cord's been cut, it's no longer connected to the mother, right? That's the point at which it becomes a human being with rights. Up until that point where it's in the womb.
According to whom?
It's according to like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you said rights.
Yeah.
From an Islamic standpoint, the child has a right.
From when? It's not from the moment of conception though in Islam.
The only time you can abort is if...
In the first few weeks.
No. If it's going to be... Yeah, there's a time period, I believe, I think. I don't want to make that claim actually. But fundamentally, if it's going to be detrimental to the life of the mother.
Okay. Right, so if she's been raped, in other words.
No! If a mother's going to die, with her continuing to be pregnant.
Okay, that's the only reason.
That's the only reason. That's the only time you can preserve the mother's life.
Okay.
Because that's when the mother's life overtakes the life of the feet of the child.
Yeah. Okay.
But besides from that, the child rights are bestowed on the child.
Okay.
Now you're saying, or generally it's said, once the umbilical cord is cut, then the child has a right.
Yeah.
Islamic, that paradigm is not looked upon. Who says so?
Yeah. Because a child, well you said, okay, parents have a duty of guardianship over their children until they, reach a certain age, okay?
Yeah, well, everyone's gone.
Yeah, most people are. Yeah, it's like, some of the brothers are I don't know how to put it really, because the way I see it, what you say is true. Obviously, if you create life, you have responsibility over that life until it becomes, say, an adult. But then in some cultures, they're like,
doesn't matter how old you are, you still have to obey your parents. You've got like 30, 40-year-olds, and their mum's telling them off for something, and they're like, yes, mum, because they believe that they still have to listen to their parents, even at that age. But obviously, that's a side topic. We're talking about, you know, about human rights. So,
actually, I was going to say that in the Bible, it's actually 100% in favor of the baby.
okay.
Yeah, because there's two instances where the mother was dying, and one of them was actually Rachel, who's Jacob's wife.
Yeah.
And so when Benjamin was coming out, she died at the birth.
Right.
And so in all instances in the Bible, the baby always comes out.
Yeah, but there was no issue about saving Rachel's life in favour of Benjamin's, so it's not really related, is it?
What do you mean?
Because how could they? Like what you're saying is at the birth she died, so it's not like they knew beforehand that the birth was going to kill her.
Well, I don't know. They said it was a difficult, so and because of her age as well.
Yeah.
So you could see. I think they could tell, and in the case of the other one, which is one of Eli's sons. So his wife, I think it was similar with her as well.
Yeah.
That she was wasn't in the best of state.
Yeah.
But in both cases, the baby came out and the mum died.
Okay.
So I suppose I'm just saying that going by that precedence, that's the priority that we would take.
Well, no, because okay. So you're saying that within Christianity, there's no excuse for aborting the child while the mother is alive.
Well, yeah, for any reason, because on those two occasions, and these were like, I mean, obviously Rachel being a senior, figure in the Bible, and yet she still died giving birth to the child.
Yeah.
So what that shows is that because it obviously doesn't give details of what, and you'd think that people in those days could tell if the mother, if the mother could be saved by the child dying, because obviously they've given birth to loads of babies.
Yeah.
But in both those situations, the midwife basically took the baby out, and the mom died. So it's as if, regardless of the state the mom was in, the priority was getting out the baby.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Well.
So I'm just saying that we go by those stories in the Bible. So that's what we use as the yardstick to measure what should happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what? Because I know you're saying about with Islam, there's a certain age. I suppose
I think it's a few weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I mean, even within Christianity, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says you can't have an abortion. So it's not like set in stone.
Well, because the thing about it though is if a woman is pregnant and someone hits her, and the baby's aborted, the baby comes out, then the person who hits her is to be punished. So someone could use that one to say that, well, yeah, if you aborted the baby, it's like you're hitting the woman, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. So
that's
Oh?
Yeah, no, I see your point. Because it's sort of by analogy, that's like abortion. But yeah, that's a good point actually.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if you know about the history of the Catholic Church. Because you know that when it came, how she was saying about the child being unwanted and say if the woman got raped.
Yeah.
In every occasion, the Catholic Church, they would actually look after the babies.
Yeah.
I presume they still do it. I presume they still do it now, but obviously back in the times before the NHS, it was actually the Catholics who were doing a lot of this, looking after children.
Yeah.
And so that's why they had I think it actually might still be the case in Ireland.
Yeah.
That you still can't get divorced because it's a Catholic country, you know, Southern Ireland.
They changed the law recently, to about a couple of years back.
Yeah?
Or just before COVID.
All right.
No, that was homosexuality. I think they even changed the abortion laws as well.
Yeah, they did.
Very
Yeah?
recent.
But no,
Yeah.
Within Catholicism, you can't get divorced. They
No.
can only annul your marriage.
Yeah.
But they don't allow divorce in Catholicism.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So isn't annulment?
Annulment means that they declare the marriage was invalid.
Oh, at
so
the
they
beginning?
could, yeah. Well, no, after you've got married. So, say the wife or the husband finds some reason why their spouse, like, basically did something wrong or whatever. They go to the church, and then I think the bishop declares the marriage annulled. So it's not like it's kind of like a divorce, but it's a bit different. You see what I mean?
But I don't know. Well, I don't know if that might be related to Deuteronomy, because there is one. Admittedly, this is about a woman. If a man, Israelite man, sees a woman among the captives,
Yeah.
and it says that if he can take her and marry her.
Yeah.
But if he finds some uncleanness in her,
Yeah.
then it's okay for him to put her away.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know that the law you're saying about. So is it related to something that was a problem from when the marriage happened, or is this just related to the marriage can be proper up to a certain point, and then something happens at that point, and then they can annul it.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be like. Yeah, I don't know when it says that, like, if a man marries a woman and he finds some uncleanness in her, what does that mean exactly?
Oh no,
Does it mean
no. Any uncleanness means according to the laws of.
Yeah, but what would be an example of that?
Oh, yeah. If you find out that she.
Right, so I'm gonna leg it.
Okay,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, I'm just soaked.
Yeah, me too.
Right, look after
All right.
yourself.
Yeah. All right.
Is it Michael? I can't remember.
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
All the best, Michael.
Yeah. All right.
Next time, look after yourself.
All right. Yes. So what was this? Oh yeah. So the uncleanness. So one example would be, because if he finds that she's already laid with a man, because what it is, when they get the captive woman, the expectation is that they're fortunate enough to pick a woman who hasn't known a man before. So so that would be the case, that if, or even if he asks her and then he finds out that that's not the case.
Yeah.
So then, because obviously she withheld it from him, then that would count as a reason why he can then put her away. But he's not allowed to sell her.
Yeah.
So, but if there's nothing wrong with her, he actually has to keep her. So you can't just do what he wants with her and then try and sell her afterwards. No, once he's chosen her, even though she was a captive, he has to stay with her all his life.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why is there a law saying that the man can't divorce like a captive woman that he's married, but he can divorce like an Israelite woman, for example?
No. It's the same thing with the Israelite woman. It has to be something that she's done.
You can't just divorce her for no reason.
No. There's no provision for no reason divorcing.
Okay.
It has to be something she's done.
But didn't Jesus say? Because the Pharisees were asking about divorce, and he said the reason Moses allowed divorce was for the hardness of your hearts.
Yeah.
But I say unto you, except a man divorce a woman for any cause except for fornication, then he has committed adultery, and he causes her that is divorced to commit adultery.
Yeah.
So that's saying there were other reasons why a man could divorce a woman, other than uncleanness. Such as fornication, such as other reasons.
Yeah. But those are all based on something the woman has done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just like he decides one day, I don't want to be married to you.
No. See, that's the thing is, no man could do that anyway, because see, one of the you could say safeguards about the way they used to do marriage back then compared to now, is that it would always be the father who would give the daughter away.
Yeah.
So the fact, here sometimes when they have weddings, they have the father giving the daughter away.
Yeah.
But they do that symbolically.
Right.
back then it was actually a business transaction because the parents would get money from the husband.
Yeah.
And so so what that would mean is that anything the man and that's one of the reasons why the man couldn't just get rid of the woman for any reason, because he's gone to the parents, given them money for her. And so now if he decides, oh, I can't be bothered, you see the problem is back in those days, it could almost be, well, sort of a death sentence, but most women could go back to their parents. But the problem is if they couldn't, there isn't, you know, like places like shelter like what we have now for women didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
So the women really did have to stay with a family of some kind in order to get protection.
Yeah. So let's say he divorced her, she could just go back to her parents' family. Go back to her parents.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that he would have to have a reason which is good enough that the parents would accept. Because so
otherwise he would be like disgracing himself in the community.
Well, he's disgracing her though. That's the thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because remember, if he falsely accuses her of something, to try and get rid of her, so now she has a sort of bad reputation.
Yeah.
And you see, the thing about it is, back then reputations counted for a lot more than they do now.
Yeah.
So back then, if she say wanted to, well, I mean, speculating here, but the thing about it is that
basically a divorced woman was considered like shameful.
Yeah.
So she probably wouldn't be able to marry again.
She'd
find it hard to get married.
Yeah, well, she could find some like low life guy who probably. But that's the thing. Any respectable man, that's it. You wouldn't be able to get anywhere near them.
Yeah. Whereas in Islam, divorce is relatively easy. Like a man can divorce his wife for any or no reason, and same with the wife. She can divorce her husband.
But where do you get that one about the wife being able to divorce her husband?
Well, it's a little bit harder for the wife.
Yeah.
She has to go before like a judge, a qadi, and but she can divorce her husband for no reason as well. The reason why it's harder for a woman is because basically, if you look at the divorce statistics, even in this country or anywhere, a woman is much more likely, a wife is more likely to divorce her husband than a husband is to divorce his wife. That's why it's made slightly harder for the wife to discourage her from divorcing her husband just like willy-nilly for no reason.
Yeah, so I suppose what they say is because the women are more emotional.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would, things that happen, negative things affect them more strongly than whereas the man can absorb them.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose that's what they say. Yeah. But this what you're saying about the woman being able to divorce, I think that isn't hadith, but I don't know.
No, they are. It's in Islam they are allowed to divorce their husbands.
Yeah.
Like I know some people for some reason they think that they can't, but from what I've heard they can. So.
But you know who's? Oh yeah. I mean not modern Islam, but do you know if anyone who's mentioned that has cited like a hadith relating to that?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm new to Islam myself, so I don't know what the hadiths are.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know if you know. Have you ever has anyone like explained to you like how they do like the laws in Sharia?
No.
Alright, okay. I thought this is something that they would actually explain to Muslims. So what it is, from what I can see, because whenever you find you can kind of see how they do it. Because you know, if you go onto one of the sites where they got the fatwa, anytime a sheikh does a fatwa, he has to have a proof.
Okay.
And the proof will either be in the Quran hadith or the one of the older scholars. But then obviously those older scholars they had to essentially use Quran and hadith as well. And so they would have to quote the particular Quran verse or hadith that they were using as their proof for their fatwa.
Right.
And so anything they come up with, you know, like you're saying about the wife being able to divorce.
Yeah.
So for a sheikh to put that forward as a fatwa, he has to have a proof for it.
Yeah, no, a proof from the Quran or the hadith.
Yeah.
Yeah, there must be one. I mean, otherwise, yeah, it wouldn't be allowed. So
Yeah.
there must be a precedent for it.
Hmm.
Quran and the Sunnah.
Yeah.
They call it kula. That's when a woman divorces her husband. It's called
Right.
kula.
Right.
But when a man does it, it's called talaq.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, they are different.
Yeah. I suppose that's the thing. But you know, with the because you know, with like now you've sort of recently become a Muslim.
Yeah.
Do they do a lot of? Because this is one thing I'm just kind of wondering. You know, especially when I like speak to some other Muslims, is that they seem to. I know it's a lot when they like say things against the Bible. It's like you can meet like I don't know 5 different Muslims and they'll say roughly the same thing in relating to a specific subject.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering those kind of things about what Muslims say against the Bible. Is it actually taught in the mosques or is it more they get it from online?
Wait, hold on. You've said two things there. You've said that Muslims disagree amongst each other about things, and then you said that we attack the Bible.
Oh no, not disagree. I must have. I didn't
Well,
say.
you're saying there's specific things we say against Christianity,
Yeah.
such as?
Oh no, against against the Bible because they would say the standard thing would be if you say like the Bible is corrupt.
Right.
And the usual way they use that is to say that, the one they use mostly is to say that there's talking about a certain thing in the Bible and you can go to 2 different places and it says something different.
Okay.
So they're saying that's one.
Contradictions.
Yeah, so that's what they say. And so they, and you have like, a classic source is, I don't know if you've ever been seeing this leaflet because I don't know if they still have it in the mosque. It's called the Combat Kit Against Bible Thumpers.
Okay.
You never seen that?
I've never seen it. No.
Oh, okay.
Sounds interesting.
No, because that's a they must have stopped using it because I think that used to be a popular leaflet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look that up. Maybe I'll find a copy somewhere.
Yeah, because I'm surprised they don't still because it's by Ahmadiyya.
Okay. Well, probably the people who do dawah know about it because I've not been trained formally to do dawah.
Right. And so what?
Yeah, I know who Ahmadiyya is.
Right. Yeah. And so they I hear people use some of the things from that, but then and what do they? And obviously, a lot of them are trained to like say things against the Trinity, but because I'm not a Trinitarian, so I don't really. They don't really come with those things to me. But the ones, the main one is contradictions, and then I suppose that's the main one I get, and then the other one is whenever I talk with Lamin, he keeps saying about how the Apostle Paul's an Antichrist.
Okay.
And I've actually read this leaflet that I went to some Dawah guys in Croydon. They gave me this leaflet, which actually it's actually a booklet, and it's about the where they're trying to show how the Apostle Paul is against Jesus.
Yeah.
And so actually I got it and read through it, and the interesting thing is that the Bible verses they're bringing out was similar to when I had the discussion with Lamin.
Yeah.
So it's as if the source, whatever source Lamin used to see what they were saying against the Apostle Paul was similar to whatever they used to produce this leaflet as well.
Right.
So I suppose what I'm trying to say after all what I've just said there is that it seems there's a lot of things prepared to train Muslims to like go against the Bible and the Christians.
Yeah.
But it's
yes, sorry, go on.
No, but it's as if that they emphasize that a lot more than say with us Christians. When you go to anywhere like a church, etc., it's mostly teaching like how to things from the Bible,
right?
And that is why you also notice that when a lot of Christians come here, the Muslims, Dawah people like jump on them and it's mostly attack without and the Christians will not be attacking back because they're just coming trying to push what they've learned about what they believe.
Well, no, actually, I would say I have heard Christians attack the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Oh yeah,
they have a standard set of things.
Yeah.
Against Islam.
Yeah, but and I know where they get that from is there's this website called
Answering Islam.
Yeah, and so you'll find that most of the stuff they say will come from there. Yeah. But no. So what I was wondering, so with that, so all this. So what I'm really trying to find out is all this. The Muslims are coming with this. Yeah. Is this coming from? Do they get it from the mosque or is it mostly from online?
Well, actually, a lot of it, I would say, even comes from the Quran, because the Quran specifically speaks against the Trinity. It speaks against Jesus being the Son of God. It speaks against. So, what was the other thing you mentioned?
Trinity. Well, is the Bible being corrupted, or?
So there is a verse in the Quran that basically says that. There are other verses that say it has been given as a guidance. The Torah and the Injil has been given as guidance, but then later on it does go on to say that they were corrupted. So what I would say to you is most of that it originates from the Quran, actually.
So but would they then be teaching that? That's what they would be teaching the Muslims.
Yes. The
things mentioned in the Quran about against the
vis-a-vis Christians and Jews. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. But I know of like sort of another discussion I had with Lamin relating to like evangelism.
Yeah.
Would you get the feeling that Muslims are more taught to like try to come up with arguments against another person's belief more than trying to like promote their own belief?
Well, the thing is, when Muslims are giving da'wah, the first thing that we will speak about is the tawheed, so the oneness of God.
Yeah.
And obviously that can get into a side conversation about the Trinity, but if we're talking specifically about Islam, so we'll talk about the tawheed, the oneness of God. We'll talk about, we believe in all the prophets from Adam through to Jesus, and then Muhammad, peace be upon them all, as the last and final messenger. And then the other thing we would talk about is about the Quran, obviously, as being the uncreated word of God. So yeah, I mean, basically those are the things we focus on.
Yeah. So would you? Do you know? Because I don't know if you, because it's something that I haven't really experienced, but I don't know if you might have. Where say there's something in, because an example is like in the Bible we have like a classic one is Sermon on the Mount by Jesus.
Yeah.
So you can like read through it and it has loads of examples of things that Jesus is saying like what people who believe in him they should do, how they should treat other people.
Yes.
And it's kind of results they should get. So saying like how the things they do should have this positive result.
Yeah.
Do you know of anywhere in the Quran where it's similar, where you can like read like a long section which explains different things like that?
Well, I was going to say it's not in the Quran, but it's the last sermon of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that he gave. In Mecca, and basically, it has a long list of things as a Muslim that you should do, that you shouldn't do. So it's like the Sermon on the Mount in that sense.
Right, but as far as you know, there isn't anywhere in the Quran that's like that.
Well, the thing is, brother, I haven't finished reading the Quran.
Right.
So if I finish reading it to you, I can tell you.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are. Obviously, the Quran is made up of surahs. You've got some long surahs, some short surahs.
Yeah.
And inshallah, if I can find it, I'll show you. But yeah, I'm sure there's a place like that. I mean, if you're looking for just like a long list of rules.
Well, no, because
thou shalt not, that sort of thing.
Well, no, it's more because what I like about the Sermon on the Mount is that he gave rules, but it's the way that he gave examples as well. So
like parables. Or no?
Well, no. He's explaining things that the people should do.
Yeah.
So, but he's using examples of, say, you should do this, and then the reason you're doing this is so that this result can happen, or don't do this, or make sure you do this before you do this. So there's quite a lot of like variation in how he's explaining. So he's not just giving you the set rules. He's actually it's like he's giving well, the term we use is breakdown. Okay. He's giving a breakdown of what he means. Yeah. So he's giving, so he says don't do this, but then you also add like a so that. So he's giving you what the result. Yeah.
Hello, you alright?
Yeah. So he's giving you the result that's expected from you doing this thing as well.
Yeah.
So I suppose because obviously we got the rules, like when you're reading like Leviticus or like Exodus. Yeah. They will list the rules like one after the other.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go as well. Alright, brother. Cold, yeah. So I'll probably see you on Sunday again. Inshallah.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Salam.
So I'd be, if you can find something like that, it'd be interesting to see, because I have to admit I've read through parts, but I haven't really like sat down, because the last time I read through the whole thing was sort of like way back in the 90s when I was staying in some Pakistani guy's house, so I was just bored.
Yeah.
And I was just
you read the Quran there.
Yeah, so I was just sort of sitting there. So since I was unemployed, and
Yeah.
But since then, that was the last time I've gone through the whole thing. Right. So now it's just a case of when something comes up, I'll read. Yeah. I'll just read through, that's whatever relevant section of it.
Yeah. Okay. But you're saying, well, if you want like a narrative, there is Surah Yusuf, which is obviously the story of Joseph.
Yeah.
So that's a narrative.
Yeah.
But with regards, I mean, to be honest, I'd have to read the Quran first, then I could tell you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I suppose you could find out from the imam at the mosque.
Yeah.
Because they might know.
Well, I mean, or you could find it yourself.
No, but that's the thing though, because I'm not a Muslim, it'd take more effort for me to find out, isn't it? So Muslim.
You can go on sunnah.com, or there's a lot of websites.
Oh no, but here's the thing. I've tried doing searches for certain subjects, and what I found is that I don't know if it's to do with because of the way the words are usually different.
Yeah.
So it's like when you try and put a subject in, the results you get back are just not really relevant. So it's as if the only real way to find the proper things relating to a specific subject is someone who's experienced, who's actually done a lot of reading.
So like what kind of subjects are you interested in?
Well,
what were you searching for?
No, what was the one else? Because I was having a conversation with a Muslim, and it was to do with the people. When the Muslim makes it to paradise, it's how. Will they be changed in order so that they're not, so that they don't get angry anymore, or the negative emotions are all gone. Yeah. And so what he said to me is that Allah's going to remove the nafs.
Okay.
Yeah, and
you've got three nafs. There's I forget the names, but basically, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like the negative nature.
Yeah.
Remove it.
Yeah, and so I asked him, so where do you know where the references for that are? Hadith, Quran, etc. And he didn't know. So I went and did a search, trying to look at negative nafs and removes nafs. Yeah. So when I tried to search, the results there's nothing meaningful was coming up.
Okay.
So that's why I feel to get the proper answer, it's like you need some sheikh who's actually looked into it.
Yeah.
And who's actually done some legwork to get information together, and then because trying to do search, a lot of the times I find when you're doing searches on the subject, it's as if you don't use the exact words that were used when someone else researched the subject, then you won't find it.
What I suggest you do, brother, is just if you've got some questions, just either write them out or type them out on a sheet of paper, and then bring them here next time you're here, and there's should be a sheikh, you can ask them.
Alright.
You just give them a piece of paper and say, can you answer these questions for me? And then,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, you could do that. Alright, well, it's like everyone else.
Yeah, some people over there. I think.
Okay. Alright, well, yeah, well.
Okay, it's been lovely talking to you. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I'll see you guys in it.
Alright, yeah, see you later. Yeah, it's Israelites will return to take down Islam.
Okay, wow, that's a long title.
Yeah.
Is that the title of the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright,
God bless you, man.
Alright, and you as well. Alright, see you. If you want to be notified when I release any videos, then just click on subscribe and then click on the bell and select all, and so then you'll receive all of the notifications for when I release any videos. Israelites will return to take down Islam.